Navigating the world is a whole lot easier with a few different identities to choose from. Need me to come up with some for you?
Time itself is a science. Exactly. None of them believed me.
I got a new letter from an informant. Looks like the situation has changed again.
Exactly. But none of them believed me. Time itself is a science.
Oh, I forgot to mute my mic for that minute and a half. Whoops. I was just fiddling with buttons, so you probably could hear that. Oh well. I went to unmute and realised I muted. Oh, that's a great start. I hope that's not a warning or foreshadowing of what's to come later. Oh dear. Good num-num-numbing. Hello, YouTube. I hope you're all doing well. And welcome back to day 3 of our Genshin 4.0 misadventure. Where last time we left off, we started getting to know Navia way better and understand the trials and tribulations that poor girl has gone through to get to where she is, whilst being a very emotional and vulnerably charged girl, but with an extreme intelligence that backs up her emotions. Even if she gets a bit teary-eyed sometimes when she's trying to make her point, because she's trying to solve why her father had to die, which is not nice, I suppose. You can tell I've just woken up. But, amidst trying to find out who the traitor may be that might have set things up to make her father have to take the fall, Childe got arrested. So we're going to be heading over to try and find out more. But firstly, we need to go over to the place Melus mentioned. Or Melus, over here. So we promised we would investigate something. So I'll warp here and jump over the wall because I think it'll be closer. I'm not actually sure when I say that if it'll be closer, just because, you know, I haven't figured out Fontaine as a map yet. I didn't really get to play it at all after yesterday's stream because I had work. It'll be the same with today. So it'll be more tomorrow where I'm not working, where I'll be trying to push more and more. To try and get more done and get things more in place and make sure we're done by the end of day 4. Or at least done with everything I want to cover. But I hope you've all been doing well. I hope you've had a fine week so far. It's been nice being back, even if I am tired again because, you know, work. But it be what it do. What? Oh, okay. I was gonna say, what's stopping me from just, oh, I don't know, shooting it? Okay, that's that one. I was gonna say, do I have that shrine? No! 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 I'll be back. Dang it, putting it all on the same button. There we go. Not that I need any of this stuff. At least not yet, anyway. Oh, I see it. So I remember to come back for it. But yeah, we'll do like a few warm-up, let people hop in and whatnot, and then we'll get back on plot. I am going to be doing plot pretty much all this stream, like just get the Archon quest done. So then tomorrow, assuming we don't get like If we don't get it all done, we can start tomorrow by finishing it. But the idea is that then tomorrow we can just spend it exploring and doing the side quests and just kind of vibing. Oh, hey, there's another reason to come up here. There's another Hydroculus. I imagine there's going to be one
A chest full of
up there.
valuables.
You just can't see it because we're too far away for it to like load in. Let me get this. Come duty. Hey, one man. Hope you're doing well. Get up the Yelon, please. Fine, fine. Who needs slopes? Right, that's there. So let's go there first. Oh, but before I dive off, maybe I should wait until my stamina's back, otherwise I'll just fall to my death. It doesn't matter, I've been playing this game nearly 3 years, I still make that mistake all the time. I'm like, yeah, I'm good, and then just die. To be fair, I'm interested to see how Lady Faucelaur's or Lady Florina will play when she comes out. I'm hoping she'll be interesting, but obviously, so I hope every character will be interesting. But I hope it has, like, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but like, correlation, I guess, to the Traveler's Hydro kit, but just better. Because the Traveler's kit, the water gun, literally you just shoot like water pellets out of your finger, is kind of really bad, but I like the idea of like just having a permanent range attack on a character that isn't range based.
Huh.
And so like if it's just if it could just be better, that'd be nice.
Underwater. Let's go and try to find the entrance.
But then also, I've seen that, because it leaks, I've seen that Neurovalai, when he becomes playable, he straight up has a laser beam. And it's not even like a little shoot the whip. No, it's literally like you charge up a giant beam, and the beam stays on screen for a few seconds when you fire it. And it's just like, oh, this is kind of cool. And you can like shift its aim. It's kind of like using the Giga Flare thing in Final Fantasy 16 again. You just have this giant death beam attack, and I was like, okay. But he's also interesting because he fights using a cane. He's a Catalyst user, technically. So, Catalyst is just magic based, but he has a magic cane, and he like will whack the ground, and when he whacks the ground, it makes like these are water based shockwaves that attack outward. And then the other new character that's coming in 4.1, Worsley, straight up has gauntlets and just punches the shit out of you. I'm loving the fact that they're being way more experimental with characters in this one. So I was just checking something on the mic, just to make sure I'm still being heard. Well, I don't want it to stand out, yes, but I'm sure what we'll find inside will be extraordinary.
You're right. An important place like this is bound to have a ton of protective
Also, why is it...
mechanisms.
Why is it the way they show you're on the water and talking is just putting on an echo effect? This is an echo location.
Navia's probably arguing up a storm right now to stall for us.
Yeah, and we also need to, like... Yeah, meanwhile, inside the Opera Epicles...
It would appear that I must repeat my question again, Mr. Tartaglia.
Uh-oh.
Do you accept the charge that you are the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case?
To be perfectly honest, I don't understand your country's complicated court system, or the reason why I'm being charged with something I've never even heard of. However, I did hear that people who have been charged can choose to participate in a duel to clear their name.
Child.
Is that right?
Child, no. No. Child, I know that you love fights and you're like Goku and you love fighting and whatnot, but I beat you up in my sleep. Child, you're not that strong. You're not as strong as you think you are. You'll get ruined. You'll get absolutely fucking eviscerated. Don't do it. You'll be tried as guilty. You'll be no.
In which case, as long as I accept the charge, I can have an all-out fight with that champion duelist Clorend, right?
Clorend will kick your ass, child, you idiot.
I've got to admit, that's one of the most enticing offers I've ever received. When I privately sparred with her last time, she was obviously holding back. Real disappointing.
The only fight I want to have with Clorend is the one where I purposely lose. I mean, what?
Hey! Don't you understand? You're currently the prime suspect for a major case. This isn't the place for you to be looking for fights.
Oh, I like that Farina's being a smidge more serious. Because we put a strong nail in her ego last time, so she's a little bit more, like, alright. You know, like she's a little bit more pissed off.
Oh? Sounds like the Hydro Archon wants to lecture me on the ways of the Opera House. Then why don't you duel me too? I'm the kind of student that learns best in the heat of battle.
No. That's not what I
Also,
meant.
I'm standing by it. I said it last stream. I think Farina can't fight. I think she just puts up a facade. She's like, oh, I'm the goddess. No one would pick a fight with me. But if someone did, she'd lose because she can't fight.
Alas, it would appear that communication with the defendant is going poorly, and we have made very little progress. In that case, let me explain everything from the very beginning again. The goal of this trial is to determine the culprit behind the serial disappearances case.
That case had nothing to do with him. You've got the wrong man.
Huh? What's going on? Why is she interjecting again?
I told you it couldn't be one of the Fatui Harbingers.
Miss Navia, this is the second time you've interrupted the court proceedings. I only tolerated your behavior last time because you were able to provide the court with a key eyewitness. But that was an exception rather than standard court protocol. I can very well charge you with contempt of court for your interjections.
Oh, please. Did you ever think I had any respect for this place's pointless theatrics?
Damn, tell me how you really feel.
We can put that discussion aside for now. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm here to charge the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case. And if my charges prove true, then Tartaglia here will be proven innocent by default. Correct?
Oh, a young lady has charged in and offered to clear my name. How fascinating. Well, I'd gotten half bored to death by all these rules and procedures anyway. So I'll take you up on that offer.
Child, stop. Stop being you, my dude. I don't know how else to tell you this, dude. I love this idiot. I hate him, but I love him.
So,
I hate
Your
him, but I love him.
Is there nothing else for me to do now?
You may take a seat for now in the audience, but that doesn't mean the suspicions against you have been lifted. Now then, Miss Navia, who is the person you would like to charge instead?
That person is...
Oh, shit. Who did we say it was last time? Oh, Marcel.
Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabriere.
I remembered because I made the stupid joke of his name. That's the only reason I remembered.
Huh? What confrérie? Never heard of them in my life.
I've heard of them, but weren't they Spina di Rosula's sister organization?
Oh, is this going to be a friends to enemies type situation?
Please let me remind you, Miss Navia, that charging someone is an incredibly serious matter. Committing to the charge also means taking on the legal responsibilities associated with it. And if the charge fails, depending on the circumstances, you may also be charged with the crime of making a false accusation. Knowing this, do you still wish to charge this man?
Yes, I do.
In that case, I declare the charge to be valid. Miss Navia and attorneys, please take your places on the court. Members of the guards, please contact Mr. Marcel right away so that he may stand trial.
After some time, a shocked and confused Marcel is brought to the stand.
Mr. Marcel, you will not require an attorney. Is that correct?
Apologies. It all just happened so quickly. I still haven't figured out what's going
What?
on.
Is there no legal rights in Tavat in this world? Doesn't he have a right to an attorney? That sounds like that doesn't sound like he chose against having an attorney. That sounded like he just didn't get a choice. It just sounded like he's here now. It's like, okay, you're here now. You got to get an attorney. You don't have one? Oh, too bad. Let's go. Look, what? Is there no legal rights in Fontaine? What the fuck's going on here?
I think an attorney won't be necessary. This is probably
Okay,
just
never
a
mind.
misunderstanding between me and Navia.
Very well. In that case, since both sides have now arrived, Miss Navia, please present your charges.
I would like to take everyone back to 3 years ago, to the case of Callus the Unfaithful. Only through elucidating what really happened in that case can we connect all the dots for the serial disappearances case.
Navia, do you really think that I was the one who killed your father? Come on, why would I do that? Callus was my benefactor, and remember, both you and I only ran to the scene when we heard the sound of a gun. If that's enough to make me a suspect, wouldn't that make everyone at that banquet a suspect as well?
I think there's no point in getting into the specifics right now. The audience doesn't
Farina,
have the big
Farina's
picture
doing what I do. She's like,
Even
oh no,
I'm
I get what you're talking about,
struggling
but
to
why didn't you
remember
tell
some
everyone
details
anyway,
of
so
that
we're all on
case.
the same page? Yeah, Farina doesn't have a fucking clue what they're talking about.
Exactly correct, Your Honor. I must refresh everyone's memory about that case before I can explain my charge and reasoning.
I see. In which case, I will recount the findings about that case as originally recorded by Maison Gardiennage. On the day of the murder, Spina di Rosula hosted a large banquet in a countryside estate owned by the Confrérie of Cabrières. During the banquet, all attending guests heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. When the guests arrived at the scene, they found the primary suspect, Callus, holding a gun, while his acquaintance Jacques lay dead from a gunshot wound. The guards' investigation did not recover any other firearms from the scene. As a result, they concluded that the suspect's first shot must have missed, while the second must have taken Jacques' life. The suspect did not dispute this conclusion, and also declined to defend himself in court. Instead, he chose to prove his innocence through a duel. Callus was defeated by champion duelist Clarande in the ensuing duel, and soon succumbed to the injuries. These are the known facts about the case.
Oh jeez. I feel a little intimidating having to try and challenge,
The motive to kill was Jacques, not my father.
you know, Mr. Grand Justice instead
Jacques
of
still had no
little
reason
bratty
to pull
Archon.
the trigger.
I like that we're kind of sort of just playing as Navia though. Like Navia is the new protagonist. It's like, yeah, this feels more natural as like this kind of attorney slash prosecutor-esque character than fucking Paimon in her best glasses.
In truth, the third person shot Jacques first, and was shot in turn by my father when my father seized the gun from him. After that, the true culprit turned the third person into water, erasing all traces of him from the scene. Thank you for the summary, Your Honor. Of course, the guard's conclusion appeared quite sensible to us at the time. However, we should revisit the case now that we've gained new information about the abilities of water from the primordial sea.
Oh god, begin your refute. Oh no. Oh, all of them. Okay. On the day of the murder, Spina Rosula hosted a large banquet in the countryside estate owned by the Confrérie of Cabrières. I'll come back. During the banquet, all guests heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. According to the investigation, Callus, who had a motive to kill, murdered Jacques for his betrayal, but is this really true? He never had a gun on him.
Something...
Fuck, okay. I thought that was... No, okay. Nope, shit. Oh, I have to push the self-defense angle.
Family confirms that Jacques had thoughts of assassinating Callus when he set out for the banquet. Unfortunately for Jacques,
Oh, whoops,
the
I didn't mean to
true
skip.
culprit had
However, in the end,
already
he
considered
reconsidered
this
and instead shared
possibility
everything with Callus,
and
hoping to
had
seek his
sent
life's
out
protection.
another
Fortunately for
assassin.
Jacques, the 2 culprit already gone there and started affecting the shit. When the guests arrived at the scene, they found the primary suspect Callus holding a gun, while his acquaintance Jacques lay dead from a gunshot wound. Based on the investigation done then, there was no possibility that anyone else could have done the deed and escaped. Well, there's water. There was clothes.
This Ayana's assassin first shot Jacques, then turned to shoot Callus, only for Callus to wrestle the gun from him and kill him instead.
The guards' investigation did not recover any other firearm from the scene. As a result, they concluded the suspect's first shot must have missed and the second must have taken Jacques' life. The deduction is based on the circumstances that there is no third person on the scene, but it turns out that there was a method, that is, the primordial sea.
A pile of clothing was found at the scene. The guards once believed they were used by Jacques as a costume to disguise himself, but since it was
Fuck, I did it again.
day,
But now it's clear that the clothes were proof of the third person at the scene, and they were turned into what committing the murder. Since it was raining that day, the culprit was confident that it... Oh, so the first one's a bait.
The true culprit caused the hired assassin to dissolve into water, leading everyone to believe Callus was responsible for Jacques' murder. This is the
first statement was a bait, and I fell for it, so I just went, oh, it's blue writing, it means it's something we can challenge. No, it was a complete bait, you can't challenge it. That's why I was like, I'll come back to that one, because I was like, I'm not sure I get that one. Well, we only made like 2 mistakes, so I think we did alright, all things considered.
Ah, so that's what happened. Wait, you're telling me something as dangerous as water from the primordial sea has been used for all these years?
What a great theory. It also explains Callus's and Jacques' respective motives. I guess they didn't shoot each other after all.
Mr. Marcel, you are the one being charged with the crime. You should provide a rebuttal if you wish to prove your innocence.
Ah, but I think I agree with everything Navia just said. In fact, there was nothing in her speech that directly implicated me.
Then, may I ask some questions? In my opinion, we primarily need to determine 2 things. 1, do you have the evidence to back up your claims?
I'm afraid not. At least not at this very moment.
Boo! If you don't have any evidence, you should just go home!
I may not have the evidence with me, but I know where I could go to collect it. If we look up the deserted clothes against a record of people who went missing around the same time, we should be able to find a match. Considering the serial disappearances case, the guards probably kept careful records of all missing persons from around that time, regardless of age or gender.
That makes sense to me. Monsieur Neuvillette, I would consider this to be a reasonable investigative direction.
Why do I feel like Farina's acting a little differently today?
Yeah, because she had her ego shaken up last time. That's why. She had her ego checked, so she's trying to, like, show that she's still in control a little bit.
Maybe she's scared of embarrassing herself again?
Alternatively, she's become more diligent after charging an innocent citizen in the last trial.
My second question has to do with the ensuing duel. If the truth is indeed as you described, then why didn't Mr. Callus explain himself in court? If he had testified that a person had been dissolved, he could have at least mounted a defense.
I've thought about this too, and the answer is actually pretty simple. He felt there were things that were more important to him. The dissolving power of water from the primordial sea is an important secret for the true culprit of the serial disappearances case. My father could have exposed it for all to see, but he chose to take it to the grave. At that time, Spina di Rosula was in dire straits, and his reputation had already been shattered. He had no guarantee that going forward with the truth would allow the culprit to be brought to justice. What was certain, however, was that it would paint a gigantic target on my back.
Boss once told me that Demoiselle had already been selected as the next target of the serial disappearances case.
What?
If the secret had gotten out, the culprit would have fought an all-out war with Espina right there and then. I wouldn't have been the only one in danger. All of us would have stood to lose our lives. Of course, the guards might eventually figure out the truth of the matter and determine that we were in the right, but what good would that do? How can a hollow verdict protect anyone? Had this opera house ever given my father any kind of confidence in its brand of justice, Spina di Rosula would have had no reason to exist. But by staying silent, we retained the ability to deter our opponents and continue the stalemate. I was able to become Spina di Rosula's president, which made me harder to target, as well as giving me more time to grow and learn. And once I have figured out the truth and stepped up to the challenge, I will do what this opera house cannot and restore my father's truth and honor back to him.
So, you mean to say, your father intended to die in the duelist's ring?
That's right.
Do you have any proof?
Of course. All you need is to ask his opponent, Clarand.
Yeah, ask the hot lady next to you, Farina. Ask your personal guard with the button on her shirt that's fighting for its fucking life. I only just noticed it. Look at that button. That button is fighting. It like that, those shirts bending out. Also, I didn't mean to back the mic. I've got one leg crossed over the other because I'm just kind of sitting and listening, but because of that, my knee's raised, so it like just lines up with the very bottom of my mic. So if I move a little, it bops it.
I don't need your apology, your guilt, or your support from the shadows. You don't have to do anything for my sake. But since he entrusted his will to you, Clarand, you should tell us the truth about his sacrifice.
So, during the duel, did you believe that Callus was intending to die?
Yes, I did. As a champion duelist, I've fought many battles and taken a countless number of dishonored lives. In my line of work, I've seen all kinds of people give their all for the faintest hope to continue living. Some were determined, others passionate, and some even manic and twisted. Just one look and I can tell if a duelist is hoping to live or if they're looking to die. I hereby swear on my name and honor as a champion duelist that Mr. Callus never intended to leave the ring alive.
Since that's your testimony, I have no more questions. It appears there really are good grounds to reopen this case.
Man, it is really interesting how much... Like, I know it's because of like, the ego check and whatnot, but it is really interesting how much of a 180 Farina has had after getting embarrassed once. She is super, super serious and trying to be, like, professional about this now, instead of just cheekily bullying her way through it and assuming she'll be fine, like she was before.
I concur. However, Miss Navia, you still have not explained the link between your father's case and the serial disappearances case.
Right? What she said was fascinating, but kind of beside the point.
Wait, weren't they just talking about the serial disappearances case?
Of course, Your Honor. The two cases are connected via a matter of timing. In my father's case, the culprit intended to kill both Jacques and Callus. As a result, they planned to act after hearing 2 gunshots. And, at the end of Linny's trial, the culprit also only dissolved the victim in front of everyone because they realized they were at risk of being identified. The culprit could only time their actions so precisely if they were already at the scene.
Yeah, and guess who revealed he was already in the opera house during the first case? That's right, it's good old Marcel.
Coincidentally, Marcel attended both the banquet and the trial.
So that's why you suspected me. Even after hearing your reasoning, I still can't help but find it a little preposterous. I'm used to it, though. You've always been an impulsive and sentimental child, Navia. It's one of your most endearing traits.
No need to appeal to pathos.
I won't try to refute your points one by one, but even if everything you just said was true, can you prove that I was the only person present at both events? On top of that, does a person have to be physically present to control the timing? Can't someone remotely monitor the place?
Don't know what she can say to that.
I know that even with that, you might still think you can reduce the list of suspects with some further investigations, until I'm the only one left on the list. Alas, who won't feel at least a little hurt by an accusation of murder from a girl you see as your own daughter? But if I were to dismiss this completely, you'd also think I'm not being considerate of your feelings. Ah well, let Uncle Marcel teach you another lesson. Do you know what the biggest flaw in your reasoning is?
I suppose you're gonna tell me anyways.
It's timing again. I'm a businessman by trade. From that standpoint, there's no reason for me to kidnap young women. It's a high-risk action with nothing to gain.
You're a rich fuck. That's your reason for wanting to kidnap people. Because you're a rich, entitled fuck, and that's what rich, entitled fucks have a bad habit of doing. Anyway.
In addition, I left my home in Snezhnaya when I was young.
Oh, fuck, he's Russian again.
My business only thrived when I received Callus's patronage. But the disappearances began before I ever stepped foot in Fontaine.
I do apologize, demoiselle. This was my mistake.
No, it's not your fault. I'm sure he had come prepared.
Is there anything else you'd like to say? Would you like to check the date of my first business license against the first known case of the serial disappearances? You can also take a look at my border entry records, or ask my friends and family when I left Snezhnaya for the first time. Could those records and testimonies do something to appease the unspeakable anguish in your heart?
Seems like she got the wrong guy.
At this rate, Navia will be convicted for falsely accusing him.
I think you've done a superb job of dissecting your father's feelings as he neared the end of his life. But aren't you going against all of his wishes and expectations right now? He wished for you to become more rational, collected, and conscientious, instead of dwelling only on your own feelings. Once you've learned to be more considerate of others' feelings, and to stop rushing headlong into things, you'd have met most of his expectations.
This isn't just about me. And it never has been. The biggest difference between me and the rest of the victims is that I still have the ability to search for the truth. While that same agency has long been taken from them, the people whose families were destroyed by synth abuse, the people who lost their loved ones to the serial disappearances, and the people who suffered tragic ends due to their sense of justice. Many people's images are flashing before my eyes. I'm sure some are coming to those of you in the audience as well. And whose image do you see, Marcel? Is it a man named Vacher? Oh, so you do know that name.
I'm merely surprised you'd suddenly say the name of someone I've never even heard of.
Yeah, good defense.
I was waiting for you to say that.
A little while earlier, at the entrance to the synth production base. Oh, meanwhile, us. Where the fuck are we even going? Oh, here we are. Oh, that's party setup. Oh, it's because you don't expect to just suddenly be dropped in a dungeon, so they've dropped this here, so if you need to rearrange your party quickly, you can. That's cute. It's like, okay, look, we might catch people off guard, so let's just throw a bone here. No, we're good. My main squad always carry.
Shine down! Gotcha! Quietly now. Game's up.
But yeah, great defense, Marcel. Oh, so you reacted to it. It's just I've never heard that name. That's why I reacted to it. Yeah, okay, because that's the real reason why people would gasp upon hearing a name never heard of before. And not just go, huh?
Mechanism in the middle?
Oh, who?
That guy really prepared a lot of stuff for this place. Paimon thinks we need to go up, but Paimon doesn't see a way. Let's take a look around. Maybe we'll find a hidden mechanism that'll show us the way up.
Oh, the game could just tell us. Fuck, Jesus Christ, thanks for letting me explore first game. What is this, God of War Ragnarok? Sorry, the reason why I'm doing this, I genuinely didn't notice it until, like, just now. When you're swimming from the side or when you swim in the back, do you notice any little difference on the character model? There's a little water effect around their crotch that appears only when you're on the back of them. I can almost guarantee you that's there for characters with skirts. So you're not just seeing up their underwear throughout the entire time. I can guarantee that effect was made almost entirely just to make sure you can't just upskirt the characters whilst you're doing deep sea diving. Like, I bet if I swapped to Ayaka, it would be like it would just completely cover that up. I genuinely only just noticed it. I didn't spot it at all in the first 2 streams.
The water level is rising. Now we can swim to the top.
Oh.
But this is still a ways away from where we need to go.
Oh, we gotta do puzzles that raise the water level, huh? Oh, jeez, it's like the fucking water temple all over again. I say that, I felt like the only person who didn't hate the water temple in Zelda Ocarina of Time. It was annoying, and the fact that, one of the key puzzle parts that you need is a little too well hidden away, so it's extremely easy to miss, which just makes you feel like you get lost, because in reality you've just missed a piece. But once you know that piece is there, the rest of the puzzle, like the rest of the dungeon, I genuinely didn't have any trouble with. You just kind of work your way through it. It's just there's the one missing piece sort of thing. And they tried to address that somewhat in the 3DS remake by the switch that opens that secret door you need to find. When you pull it, it shows a little cutscene alluding to where it might be. So you go over there and eventually you find it. So they actually did try and address it a little bit and make it a bit more bearable. If you want a real water temple that sucks dick, go to the very next Zelda game they made. Majora's Mask's water temple, the Great Sea Bay, or the Great Bay Sea Temple, whatever it was called. That's awful. But then genuinely, this might be a hot take, and I've already made a hot take with saying the water temple wasn't that bad, but I genuinely think after Majora's Mask, none of the other water temples that followed were that bad. A lot of people always say, like, oh, the water temples are always really bad in Zelda and whatnot, but I genuinely thought the one in Wind Waker was okay. The one in Twilight Princess, other than getting lost a couple times on my first playthrough, I genuinely think it's pretty enjoyable, and you get the hookshot in it, so I can't be mad. And the one in Skyward Sword was literally the only fucking thing in Skyward Sword I even remotely enjoyed. The Skyward Sword's water temple is genuinely really good. And I wish we'd get more of those sort of Zelda games again, but I don't think we ever will because the open world Zeldas do so well. I just missed the dungeon crawling. I miss linear puzzle adventure games. Or puzzle-esque adventure games in general, so damn much. It's why I always talk about bringing like classic Tomb Raider and how much I miss classic Tomb Raider because the reboot just didn't scratch the itch. And I loved like the earlier era 3D Zeldas because of the same reason, even though they were a little less linear at times, depending on which game you're playing. Like if you're playing Wind Waker, where you got the whole ocean, so it's a little less linear in that sense. Majora's Mask prides itself on what you can and can't do.
Busted. Here comes the catch.
Oh, okay. Oh, before we proceed, my cat is howling at my door, so I'm going to let her in. 1 second. I did bonk my mic as I got up, so give me just 1 second to like double check it's still okay. Yeah, we're still good. Alright, let's continue on. When I got up, I completely just walked into it like a moron. But I've now got Socks with me. Hello, madam. You settle there. Let's continue on. Settle. Settle. Don't start trying to walk around.
After all that, we finally made it to the innermost sanctum. Though, as expected, the mastermind isn't here.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, he's being charged by Navia as we speak.
That's right. Then let's hurry up and find some evidence so we can get back to the Opera House and help Navia.
Look for clues in the headquarters' depths.
What's all this? Aw, it's a bunch of really cute things. Pink accessories, a hair tie, a necklace.
Oh,
Even a
probably
makeup
like
box.
accessories from the girls that have been kidnapped. There's a name too.
Oh, Paimon sees it too, but why are all these cute things?
Oh, come on,
labeled with
Paimon.
different girls'
What case have we been investigating? Why are you asking me this? They probably belong to the victims.
Huh? You mean the girls from the serial disappearances? They were brought here, and then they were turned into water, and all the boxes of things. These names. That means... Oh, this is terrible.
The missing person's possessions. You discovered objects within the containers labelled with the names of those who owned them within the depths of the HQ. The names here must have something to do with the victims in the serial disappearances case. This might have been proof that this was their final stop. So this is... Jesus Christ. That wording at the end there, so this might have been their final stop. They're trying to say this is their murder room? Oh shit. Yeah, no wonder that like, Paimon was a little unsettled.
There's so much synth here, and so many bottles of ingredients that probably just contain the waters of the primordial sea.
There's so many.
Mixing in progress, ready to drink, stock sample? Huh. They've also got all the synth pretty clearly labeled. Whoa, there's even fruit-flavored synth?
Well, that definitely proves that this is where they produce the synth.
Yep, it's super obvious.
Synth, a popular potion circulating quite widely. It gives the drinker a very pleasant experience for a short time, but its side effects are equally strong. The producer uses these special characteristics to earn a massive profit from its trade. Yeah, they're literally selling like a drug. A legal drug.
What's this over here? Looks like some kind of place for research. Experiment number 16 aims to verify Jacob Ingold's research conclusions on the primordial sea and use his theory as a foundation to achieve a breakthrough. The experiment was a failure. No individual managed to resurface from the water from the primordial sea. Female specimens 22, 23, and 24 were dissolved.
Calm down, Paimon.
Sorry, Traveler. Paimon will try her best. It's just...
Yeah, Paimon's never read a real record of people getting fucking systematically murdered like that. Just seeing document like a science experiment. Yeah, I get it, Paimon. It'd be a little unnerving to read too.
How can someone write something that terrible in such a matter-of-fact tone? You read the rest. Paimon's too scared to keep going.
The goal of the researcher is to save his lover, a woman called Veneer, who was dissolved.
So that's why he did all of these experiments. Wait, did he really think he'd be able to find a way just by dissolving people over and over?
Yeah, I'm not sure your lover would be too appreciative of being saved, knowing that you murdered like 25 other random girls to do it. Just a thought. It's literally the whole train problem again. Save one or save the many. It's just like, no, I'm going to purposely kill the many to save the one. Like, Jesus Christ. There's another name here. Vache.
Huh? Isn't that the name you heard by the fountain? Paimon thought he was an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case.
No, he's a researcher.
You mean Vache is the one who did all of these... experiments?
Yes, he signed off on a bunch of the experimental reports. The voice I heard from the fountain was probably Veneer.
So that's it! Vache was no victim, but personally took his lover and... No, that's not it either!
No, I think what it is like something happens with Veneer, and Vache started going into heavy research to try and find a way to get her back, and just got a little lost in the source, so to speak, trying to do it. And decided to take a bunch of lives to experiment on trying to figure out how to replicate it if there's a chance for him to get her out. There must be more to this than meets the eye.
In any case, Paimon will write it all down.
Vache's experimental records. Experiment number 16 aims to verify Jacob Ingold's research conclusions on the primordial sea and use his theory as a foundation to achieve a breakthrough. The experiment was a failure. No individual managed to resurface from the water from the primordial sea. Female specimens 22, 23, and 24 were dissolved. There are many more records like these.
what's written here. Nothing escapes Detective Paimon's eyes.
Except you're not wearing the funny glasses, so you're not really a Detective Paimon.
Callus. Navia's father. Oh, this seems to be an investigation report on him.
It's probably related to his and Jack's case.
Yep, it's about finding someone to assassinate Jacques and Callus because of a lack of confidence that Jacques himself would go through with it. This should prove the existence of the third person, right?
Is there anything else?
We still have not determined the exact content of the key information Callus has passed on to certain members of his organization. The old dog's a real menace to deal with. Even if he abides by the promise he's made to us, he will still have the upper hand. He can act whenever he wants to make our lives miserable. The only option left is to remove him from the picture entirely. I concur. Let's send someone to kill him. He won't declare war as long as we don't touch Navia. Oh, seems like we've got a bunch of correspondence between the higher-ups.
They planned this well in advance.
They're all just so evil.
Callus's investigation report. Clues concerning the Callus capes that were found inside the bookshelf. The mastermind did not believe that Jacques would do the deed, and thus sent a third party to ensure Callus's death. The content that follows also define the culprit's motive to some extent. Hope you're making notes, chat. I hope you're all keeping this in the back of your brain and remembering, because I'm gonna forget. I mean, what? No, it's a test.
Oh, look! There's an important-looking basin over here, and it's full of water.
That must be the water from the primordial sea, which means that's technically like the waterbed of like at least 25 victims.
That means
that's like the water grave.
Make all the synth. And that special water is the main ingredient. If you dilute it with normal water, you'll get synth. But the pure stuff can dissolve a human. Paimon will take notes on this incriminating evidence.
Primordial seawater pool. The pool found within the HQ is filled with water from the primordial sea. The mastermind can use this to create synth and directly use it to dissolve people.
We've looked at almost everything here, and it seems like our theories were spot on. But
who really is this Vasha?
Yeah, we haven't found anything that reveals his true identity. No wonder even Nervalette wasn't able to find anything. Whoever it is probably destroyed everything to do with that name a long time ago. That way, even if we bring all this back to the opera, we won't be able to identify the true culprit.
Clever, but maybe not clever enough. Let's look again.
Sure thing. Paimon won't admit defeat to this guy either.
Look for more clues. Oh, do I have to re-examine everything? Oh, you do. Interesting. Oh, there's an invisible wall here. Okay, never mind. I was like, why can't I go up there? Alright. Didn't care for the victim's dissolved agreement to life, but there's nothing on Vasha's true identity. Balls full of synth and water in primordial sea can be used as evidence to prove what the plan was for. Nothing here seems particularly noteworthy.
You take that side and Paimon will take this side.
Oh, well, found the correct item then, I suppose.
We'll find something.
The cutscene started. Gee, I wonder if I'm right now. And after some time...
Nothing at all. And Paimon can't even find snacks either.
Yeah, Paimon, because now's really the time to be looking for snacks. Paimon, I found it.
Whoa, really? Let Paimon see. Vinier. Isn't that Vache's lover's name? Then you found her diary. Let's see. Aw. It's just a normal diary chronicling their love story. She was so sweet, too. Oh, Paimon feels even worse for her now.
Take a look at this page. She made a list of baby names.
So many! A whole page's worth! But they're all crossed out. Was she unhappy with all of them? The final name she decided on was Marcel. Wait, but Marcel's pretty old. Has this case been going on for so long that he's Vache and Venier's grown son?
Let's go, Paimon.
Hey! Paimon still hasn't figured it out yet.
Venier's notebook. A notebook belongs to a lady named Venier. She records many stories of her time with her lover, Vache. On one of these pages, she prepared many names for their future child, and the name she settled on in the end was Marcel. Don't know why, though. Marcel is not a great name. After obtaining the final piece of key evidence, you race back to the Opera Epicles.
And whose image do you see, Marcel? Is it a man named Vache?
Huh.
Oh, so you do know that name.
I'm merely surprised you'd suddenly say the name of someone I've never even heard of.
I was waiting for you to say that.
Navia! We're back!
As expected of my partner. I just knew you'd return in the nick of time.
Just how often do you intend to flout the rules of this court?
I'm sorry, Nurvalite. It's the last time, I promise. This poor judge, he's just sitting there like, for fuck's sake, no one cares about the courtroom etiquette. No one is prepared to follow the rules in this building. No one ever listens to me.
It's all right, Monsieur Nervalette. Given their confidence, I expect they've found the crucial evidence.
You say you've never heard of Vache. Oh, Jesus. Yet your name is in this book.
But the truth of it, Marcel, is that you've always been Vache.
Oh. Oh, that's not the twist I thought it was. Also, it's nice to hear Emmy talking again. I mentioned this last time. I wish all the objection bits weren't Paimon reading them, but instead us, so it's nice that she's doing it. Also, objection.
Huh?
We've investigated your lair and we already know everything! After your lover, Venier, was dissolved, you kept abducting young women to experiment on the hopes of bringing her back to you! You even created Marcel as a new identity, and destroyed all records of your past as Vache!
So that's it. Even the villains in opera performances rarely go that far. And with that, Marcel's motive has now been established.
This information regarding your past also dismantles your prior timing defense. Well, Marcel, do you know where you went wrong? You fixated your gaze on the lover that passed away, instead of paying attention to the living people around you. So, you never noticed how we changed, or how we grew as individuals.
You also never understood Boss's real expectations for his daughter.
Or our determination to see things through.
Your determination.
Mr. Marcel, please speak up now if you would like to defend yourself. Otherwise, the trial will move on to the next stage.
Do you really think I wanted to do any of this?
Oh, that's the confirmation of guilt then. Wrap it up. Just like it's just Lumine in the corner, just Emmy in the corner, just like doing the finger motion. You know, you spin your finger around like wrap it up, wrap it up.
Pay attention to you. What for? Have you ever paid attention to me? Ever empathized with my pain? Ever known how it feels to watch the love of your life dissolve right in front of your eyes? No one helped me. No one even.
It's amazing how instantly the facade faded when we provided one book that had his name written in it. He could have just said, oh, there could have been another Marcel. That's literally the easiest defense he could have tried to make. I don't know how well it would have stood, but he could have just said that. But no, he immediately just decided to start digging the hole.
They said there's no way a human being can turn into water. So I must have gone mad from grief. Vinier's death was brushed away by all of you as if it didn't matter at all. Well, now you know, don't you? Ha! Well, it's too late now. All those who were dissolved are gone forever. You only have yourselves to blame. You set up this ornate opera house in pursuit of your so-called justice, your beloved drama, while turning a blind eye to the suffering of the people. Venier is dead. We promised each other that we would always be together. Wherever she goes, I will follow. But I'm not from this blasted place, so I can't be dissolved, no matter what I do. I can't dissolve! Can't dissolve! Can't dissolve! Do you all see? I can't go, I can't follow. So if I can't go where she is, what choice do I have but to try to bring her back?
Yes, but in your warped fucking logic, you murdered 25 innocent, unrelated people just for your own selfish gains, you miserable fuck.
I did all of that, and in the end, that accursed Callus still got the better of me. I spent my entire life living on...
Man, that is the face of like, yeah, you keep talking. Like, Navi's not gonna say anything. It's like, yeah, keep digging that fucking hole.
The suspect is exhibiting signs of mental distress. Guards, please restrain him.
Don't touch me! Don't anybody come near me! I still need to save Vignere. Our promise. We made a promise.
Yeah, and how would Vignere feel knowing you killed 25 people?
Vignere.
At least.
Vignere. Please, Vignere. Don't think badly of me. All I want to do is fulfill our promise.
At this point, the verdict of this trial is clear. With Mr. Marcel's conviction, the charges against Mr. Tartaglia no longer have any basis.
Fine by me. I was in a bad mood, but after a show like that...
oh, he was still here.
actually
Tartak just sat
good.
down. He just sat his ass down in the audience chair and waited.
Traveler, please submit all the evidence you have collected to the guards, so that I might review and summarize the truth behind the serial disappearances case.
Neo Villette proceeds to review and compile all the evidence and
The man
records.
now known as Marcel was originally named Vache, and worked as an adventurer with his partner and lover Vignere. During an underwater expedition, Vignere accidentally came into contact with water from the primordial sea, and was dissolved in front of Vache as a result. Vache learned of the primordial water's existence through the work of others, and began to kidnap young women for research, with the goal of discovering a method to restore Vignere back to
Sorry,
life.
I had to hit the Genshin verse. Yeah, as much as I, like, mock him and, like, bully him a little bit, I genuinely have a huge soft spot for Childe. He's one of the more preferred characters of the entire Genshin overarching story. And because of the whole Mr. Worldwide bullshit, he seems to always show up, so it's always nice to see him, you know?
To cover his tracks, he invented the new alias of Marcel, and began to operate a business in Poisson. During the course of his research, Vache discovered that a diluted concoction of water from the primordial sea can induce feelings of euphoria, and began to manufacture and market synth. However, as he accumulated wealth to fund his continued research and expanded
That's a fair point. I don't know if marriage is actually a thing in Genshin. I'm trying to think of, like, if there's been an instance where anyone's been referred to as a husband or wife. Or, like, if they brought up marriage much at all. It's one of those little things that you don't really think about. Maybe you're onto something, but maybe it's just that Genshin doesn't really have, you know, marriage.
After exchanging blows with Spina di Rosula for many years, Vache decided to assassinate their president Callus at a banquet. Although the assassination did not go as Vache expected, he was able to turn Callus into the murder suspect by dissolving the assassin he sent to the scene. And just recently, Vache attempted to frame Linny as the culprit of the serial disappearances case, using a similar method. However, his attempt to frame Linny failed, and the power of water from the primordial sea became public knowledge. This case also exposed enough of Vache's machinations that he was eventually
The reason I'll notice is because of the combo of consuming modern fiction plus being on the accursed site that likes to point it out. Fair enough. I think it's also that you have an extremely keen eye for detail. So I think it's just things like that that you notice.
Thus concludes the enigmatic history of the serial disappearances case, with the truth revealed to all.
What do you mean applause in the subtitles? That was like two people. That was like two people that clapped and one person that like jumped.
The Oratrice will now deliver the final verdict regarding the charges against Mr. Vache.
I don't know. God, we gotta do this again. It's like, yeah, we get it. It's like, oh, we made this really cool animation for giving out the verdicts.
According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale, Mr. Vacher is guilty.
Guards! Take Vacher away.
Ooh.
Good. It's what he deserves.
Get away with modern sensibilities and all. Really. He's but just patronising. I don't think it's really that. I just think it's whatever writer wants to do. If the writer, especially like nowadays, it's not even like a matter of modern sensibilities. A lot of people nowadays, at least in my circles, don't really give a fuck about the idea of marriage, or at least don't care about it as much. It could easily just be the newer generations of writers just don't care about it as much, or don't feel the need to bring it up as much. It's like they can just be lovers. They can just be long couples. You know? It could be more coincidental than deliberate. The audience in the game either. But that's just my opinion. I might be completely wrong.
Case is over now.
We really just witnessed history. Who would have thought the true culprit would be such a
But hey, we managed to
polite and
stop like a
well-spoken
serial
guy?
murderer. I guess.
Yippee! We helped Navia bring the bad guy to justice!
You see Shadows Knowles.
So many innocent people, and now he's finally getting what he deserves.
I doubt it's as simple as that. He was a part of an organization, Paimon, and we're also only in Act 2 of what will probably be around 5 acts of this story.
Are you okay?
Navia?
Demoiselle, you were absolutely brilliant.
The day our late boss had always hoped for has finally come. You can rest easy now, knowing justice has been served.
Am I the only one that sees the audience partially complicit to Marche's actions? I mean, in his view, he felt that like no one else cared or believed in his story, so he had to do something because only he could. Equally, however, before like the Primordial Sea was revealed to someone, if someone went up to you and went, "Hey, this water made my wife disappear," I don't know if we should talk about it, you'd be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" So I don't really know how well that angle would go, or like the audience have their self to blame. If anything, it's a dude that kidnapped 25 women and tried to murder anyone who tried to speak out against him murdering women. You know, I think it's one of those things where you could maybe twist it like 1%, as maybe the audience didn't help, but the 99% is still Marche being him, and what he decided to do, and how he decided to respond to that terrible situation, you know? Like, yeah, if he'd been believed, it probably would have been better. Equally, however, you can understand why it wasn't believed. You know? That's what I'm getting. Like, you can understand why it wasn't believed. Like, if a UFO comes and kidnaps your cat, and you're desperate to try and find an answer for where that UFO went, good luck trying to convince anyone else to join your side. That's the kind of situation they were in. You know? Logic is a very evil thing, and sometimes when something defies logic, people will just choose not to listen to it, and you can hardly blame them. Especially with something as extreme as this. Lodi be an Archon. Yeah, but this is also a society that still has rules and regulations, and a goddess doing goddess things and water making people vanish don't go hand in hand. Even if the goddess is a little brat, it still doesn't change that, you know? I'm not saying you did. I'm saying, like, the point is that the people's logic here was always going to make them not bother looking into or thinking about his words when he was talking about the Primordial Sea until it was proven. And because it wasn't proven, everyone just went, "No, logically speaking, that's bullshit. That can't happen." And so threw it out. Anyone would do that. So I get why the audience, so to speak, would be like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's finally over. It's all thanks to you guys. And my partner.
And I'm just in the crowd like, "Hi."
See, Papa?
Yeah, so Navia's probably like, it hasn't hit her
well
yet
with
that
me
she's
at the
solved
helm.
this, so she's probably having to take a breather and just kind of calm herself down.
Well, now, hasn't this been a most delicious piece of drama?
Child's like, "Anyway, can I go home now?"
Justice has been served, past wrongs have been righted, and it's a big ol' happy ending. Since it's been such a great show, I'll just let the false accusations against me slide. Either way, I've still got some business to attend to. So, if you'll excuse me...
Please wait just one moment, Mr. Tartaglia.
What now? None of this has anything to do with it.
Charles like, I've been caught up in the middle of all this bullshit.
According to court protocol, since this trial was initiated due to a charge against you, a verdict must also be made regarding the initial charge before the trial can conclude.
Oh, come on. Is this really necessary? Haven't you already caught the real criminal? Isn't it time for side characters like me to exit stage left?
Please respect the laws of Fontaine. This has always been the rule.
All right, but this sure is a lot of hassle. All I need to do is stand over there, right? Let's just get this over with.
I can't wait for trial to, like, somehow inadvertently be involved in all this bullshit after all this song and dance. You're gonna get up there and it's gonna be like, okay, he's at least somewhat guilty. And you're like, what?
It has been established that Mr. Tartaglia has no direct connection to the serial disappearances case. The guilty party has been identified, and thus it is logical to suppose Mr. Tartaglia is innocent of the charges. We now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale to render the final verdict on the charges.
It's gonna say he's guilty. I like how they skip the animation. It's like, you've already seen it once, this story. You don't need to see it again.
According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale,
it's gonna say he's guilty or some shit.
Mr. Tartaglia is guilty.
Yep.
What?
Hey! That's not funny. Didn't you just say I'm supposed to be innocent? What's with this verdict? Is your justice machine malfunctioning?
Huh? This has never happened before. The Oratrice actually returned a different verdict from the Chief Justice.
I mean, have you ever heard of an innocent Fatui Harbinger? Do you think the Oratrice might have just convicted him on general principle?
But weren't the charges about the serial disappearances case? No matter what else he's guilty of, it shouldn't affect the verdict in this case, right?
Child has been declared guilty by the Oratrice. What's going on here?
The judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale is, by law, the final verdict of the court. We must accept the guilty verdict. Guards, please take the suspect into custody per court protocol.
No, don't pick a fight, child. No, child, no, don't start trying to pick a fight. No, this is how trouble starts.
So this is how justice is done in Fontaine. What a joke. You've got your rules. Well,
don't use your delusion as well, because it literally kills you. It literally hurts you if you use it. No, uh-oh. Yep, he's gone from delusion mode. Oh, fucking goddamn it, dude. Yep.
I am sorry.
Oh god.
If you have been wronged, we will find the truth.
New Valet just fucking destroyed him.
Must be upheld.
Damn! Oh, he did get a cut, though. Yeah, it's all bullshit. I'm on child's side on this one.
Monsieur Nouvelette, what's going on?
But damn, he just got one tapped by Mr. High Justice here.
Apologies. This is also the first time I've encountered such a situation. However, according to the rules established at the conception
everyone
of
agrees he's
Fontaine's
innocent,
system,
but the machine says he's
the
guilty,
Oratrice's
so tough shit because the
is
law
the
of Fontaine
final
says the
verdict
machine gets the final verdict. Yeah, that's kind of shit. The machine's it's a machine. It can get tampered with. Doesn't matter what the machine is.
All I do is follow.
Or how significant it is. Nothing's immune.
As for why the Oratrice arrived at the conclusion it did, you should probably ask someone more knowledgeable than me.
If even the Chief Justice doesn't know, then we have no choice but to ask the Archon herself. We need to like get Farina in a room, sit her down, and go, "What the fuck just happened?"
Why are you looking at me? I had nothing to do with it! I don't know what happened there either! Hey, stop staring at me!
Uh-oh.
What does Lady Farina mean by that?
She says she has no idea either, but that's impossible. Didn't she create the Oratrice herself?
Yeah, so are the verdicts reliable or not? Can results like this really be called justice?
My dearest citizens, did you really think we'd allow an incorrect verdict to be handed out in this court? Did you really believe that the judgment could be mistaken or be the result of some sort of random mishap?
I know it's off topic, but is the door behind the chair? It has to be, right? Because how else does she get up there? I'm not seeing a door. It has to be behind the chair somewhere. Like, how do you get up to that fucking room otherwise?
Don't tell me. You thought even I had been blindsided by the Oratrice's result.
I mean, you clearly had been.
But the way she looked just now, it was pretty obvious she had no idea what was going on.
However, given the state of things, I shall give you an explanation. Everything that just took place, including my supposed shock.
Yeah, and Farina's trying to protect her ego a little bit and not get humiliated again by pretending, get everyone calm down, then try and solve what's actually going on behind the scenes.
And, of course, for every performance, there is a script. Everything has unfolded exactly as I expected from the very beginning. As the embodiment of the very concept of justice.
You know, I'm gonna say it, I don't think the Goddess of Law is very good at law keeping.
If you thought Childe had nothing to do with the serial disappearances case, it is only because you've been blinded by the superficial appearance of innocence. Everything he's done, not to mention the danger he poses, are beyond ordinary comprehension and completely unforgivable. All shall be revealed in time.
Basically, he's probably done horrible shit, but I need to figure it out first.
Noble intentions, as well as the absolute correctness of the Oratrice's verdict. Now, having said that, although I hate to leave things hanging in suspense, it is now time for this performance to end. As the lead actress, I shall be the first to take my leave. Toodaloo!
Poor child just got fucking bamboozled.
So she chose to make her escape after all, did she?
Yep.
So you're saying we shouldn't put much stock into what she just said?
She probably just put on that performance to save face. As for the truth, it's unlikely that she actually has any idea.
No, as I called it literally like the sentence one. She's putting up a safe face because she doesn't want the people to doubt her and she doesn't want to be humiliated by being wrong again. So she just made up a load of old bullshit on the spot to kind of just save the audience's trust a little bit. And then once she had her opportunity to make her exit, took it so she could then look into what's going on in the background. She probably did in that situation. Because if she just admitted she was wrong, that could have had more repercussions. Because it could have resulted in more people doubting the goddess, and in turn doubting the Oratrice, and then doubting the entire system of the country's law. And so by her instead trying to just say, oh, it's exactly how it was intended, she can at least try and smother some of that until she can get to the bottom of it. Oh, way to pull the rug out from under her.
However, please be assured that I will continue to investigate this case in a personal capacity. Just as I promised, if the judgment has been incorrect, we will do our utmost to clear his name.
All right. Even though we feel pretty badly for him, we'll take your word for it for now.
If you're going to have to do some investigation on Childe, hey, I've still got his vision in my pocket. Do you want to look at it? Because it deactivated, and maybe it will answer a few questions.
After all, he's done plenty of bad stuff, so he should have known he'd go to prison someday, right?
That's a real nice way of saying he caused a tsunami that nearly took out Leeway. Leave the opera house. It's I was kind of hoping I'd just look over and just see, like, Childe flat on the ground over there. No, he's already been picked up.
Oh, Monsieur Nervalette! That power you showed when you took him down. Who are you really?
I'm the Chief Justice of Fontaine, of course. If officers of the law lack the strength and capability to enforce it, Then it makes a mockery of justice.
Paimon, the problem is that Fontaine doesn't have the jurisdiction to try him for it. He hasn't committed crimes within... Yeah, he's been a good boy since he entered Fontaine. His only real crime he did in not China, I mean Leeway. And even then, it wasn't him that made the tsunami, he just summoned the creature that made the tsunami.
Hey, what are you doing? Quick, stop him!
Traveler! Hey! Traveler!
What the fuck?
Marcel! What are you doing over here?
Stop resisting arrest! Cease, or we'll add another charge to the list.
No, wait! I just want to ask the Traveler something. I'm not looking to run away. Please, just let me ask this one small thing.
My dude, you've lost your right to have rights. You murdered at least 25 women, and murdered anyone who tried to stop you.
Go on.
God damn it.
Thank you. I was being led away when I finally realized something. Where did you first hear the name Vache? I erased all records of that name. So, unless...
Are you still trying to prove your innocence? Give it up. You've already been convicted.
I'll just say yes. If I say I met her, that gives him too much.
Really? You did? You're sure? You met her? But how could that be? How did you manage to do it?
Something to do with my sensitivity to the Hydra element.
The Fountain of Lucine?
That's not what I said.
Then she's been so close to me all along. And I just never... Please give me a chance to talk to her again. Just let the Traveler take me to the fountain to see her one last time. This is the last request I'll ever make in my life. You can do whatever you want to me afterwards. I don't care.
What? Give an inch and you want to take a mile? Do you think serial killers get to make requests like that?
Paimon agrees. Why should we give him what he wants when he's only done a ton of super terrible
Yeah,
things?
why should we let you go see your woman when you've stripped so many other people of their families?
This request, is it worth as much to you as your life?
Of course! Wait, no. It's worth even more than my life.
Humans. Will they betray the instinct to live just to satisfy spiritual needs?
Neuralight, are you not human? How is it in one fell swoop you just made me doubt whether you're human or not?
Very well. I will grant your request.
What?
Your Honor, I fear that...
I will go with him. You do not need to worry about any escape.
Alright, yeah, fair point. After what you did to Child, yeah, I know you'll be fine.
In that case, I shall leave him in your most capable hands, Chief Justice.
Thank you, Your Honor.
But if he's the Chief Justice, if he's not entirely human, imagine like the ultimate supreme force of law that isn't the god. It's just someone who lives forever. That's like the everlasting judge. That might be what it is. He might be something that's just like... He might have been human at some point, but it's like for one reason or another lost his humanity. That's my theory, at least. And I'm sticking to it for now.
Is this the place? You said she's here, but what do I need to do to see her?
Back then, I drank water from the primordial sea, and it heightens my sensitivity to the Hydra element.
Yeah, and even Paimon could hear her after drinking that thing. Didn't you just drink a lot of it on the stage as well? Oh, in that case...
Vache!
Ah!
Yes, that's it! So you heard it too!
Vinier, it's me! It's me, Vache!
Vache? Vache!
I'm here! Where are you, Vinier? I'm coming for you. I'm finally here for you.
Hey, wait! Be careful! Hey, wait!
Vinier, is that you? It's me, Vache!
Oh, he went into the water dimension as well. Okay.
Vache, why did you come? Didn't I say? You don't need to look for me. You look a lot older than I remember. How long has it been?
It's been more than 20 years. I've suffered for over 20 years since the day you left. All this time, only the thought of bringing you back has kept me alive. Nothing else mattered to me. I must be dreaming. Who would have thought I'd get the chance to tell you all of my feelings like this?
Not me. I'm surprised Neuro Valet said yes to letting you go do this.
Vignere, you are my everything. I really don't know how I could live without you.
But Vache, if you ask me, this world would be better off without you.
Fuck. Tell her, Jesus, this will be better off without you. Yeah, damn.
What are you saying?
If not for you, I would have finished my law degree and
Oh,
probably become
whoops.
a top-tier attorney one day. If not for you, I would have continued to pursue my love of the arts, and my works would have been displayed in the Palais Mermonia itself. If not for you, I would at least have been able to take care of my mother. And she would not have grown old and died alone, with nothing but the tears on her cheeks. It's all because of your selfishness, Vache. It's all because of you.
You... Wait, you are not Vignere. Who are you?
You're right. I am not Vignere. I am the sacrifices.
Oh. Oh. Every time he murdered someone with dissolving in the water, they became a part of this Oceanid. So she also houses all the memories of literally all the people he killed.
Every woman who died by your hand, as our bodies dissolved, our consciousnesses flowed back to the primordial sea. Our thoughts circulated endlessly within the primordial sea, and we were no longer individuals, but we became one, just as streams of water come together in the sea. I'm Cressy. I'm Lemonade. I'm Azine. The only one I am not is Vignere.
Why? But then, where is Vignere?
She doesn't want to see you anymore. Every tendril of her consciousness is avoiding you. This is what you get for your selfishness. Your selfishness robbed us of our lives and our futures. You said time and time again.
No, I think this is better. I think he doesn't deserve... I've been saying this. He doesn't deserve to see his wife because he literally stole the lives of so many other people's families. Why should he then get to see his wife? He should see the crime he's done, not his girl.
But did you ever consider whether she'd want to see you do the things that you did? If she would despise you for what you became? You are a liar, a heartless murderer, and a cowardly narcissist. The only thing you are not is Vignere's beloved. From the moment your first victim died and her consciousness merged with Vignere's, she has had nothing but pure hatred for you.
Oh, it looks like I didn't meet Vignere back then either. They must have wanted me to lure Marcel here from the very beginning. Oh, yeah, you wanted it to be Vignere outwardly saying, I hate you. But I even in that sense, I still think this approach is better, because it's refusing him what he refused others in his selfish plight to get her back. He ruined so many others' families. Why does he get to see the last remnant of his own in any form of capacity? At least in my opinion.
No! Yeah! She can't hate me. Let me see her. Please! Have mercy!
You still don't understand. When I said don't look for me, that came from the real Vignere. She really doesn't want to see you anymore. But on top of that, she also said that because it's her final drop of pity for you. She said that because she knew that if you did come here, we will show no mercy to you.
Vache.
Vache? Vache? Vache! Drown.
Oh, Jesus Christ. These are the guards find the culprit of the young woman's kids. Marcel appears to have lost his soul. Oh my fucking god. They fucking soul snatched that bitch. Anyway, a few days later.
We have some time to do shopping. Gosh, it's really been a long time since we've been able to relax.
That's probably stressful in its own way, though. My legs are killing me.
Well met, partner. I knew something great was going to happen when I woke up in such a good mood today.
Even this weather can't put a damper on the demoiselle's mood.
It's a pleasure to see you both again.
Oh, hey, Navia! It's been a few days. Paimon's already started to miss you.
Oh, now that I believe. I'm easy to work with and always bring home the bacon. Who wouldn't treasure having a partner like me?
Yeah, then soul's taken, yeah. Well, I imagine, like, if his soul's been taken, I'm assuming he's, like, it was a spontaneous death. So they could probably just rule it as that. And just, like, if they don't find any poison on him, they could just be like, oh, I don't know. They could pick up some bullshit, like, oh, the weight of his guilt made him, I don't know, die. You can tell I'm an expert at body anatomy. Maybe it caused a heart attack. They could go down that road. They could probably make up some bullshit if they wanted to. Also, if it's been several days, that means Charles just been vibing behind bars for like several days now.
Since the trial.
It's just been one thing after the other. I've been making non-stop trips between Poisson and the courts in Sen. Everyone from Spina di Rosula organized a memorial for my father. We never held a memorial when he first died, since everyone knew that even if we held one back then, no one was going to come. This time, though, everyone in Poisson, and even many people from the court, all attended.
So his name's definitely been
And
cleared
considering
now.
the fact that Neurovalite let that, Marcel go and do all of that, I wonder if he was kind of aware of the ongoings of what was going to happen in that fountain, and what that fountain was going to do to him. Especially if that whole you humans thing that we had earlier. Like, what if he knows more than he's let on? What if he knew that that person was going to die there, and it was just like, it was just going to be his execution one way or another, and he was like, you know what, fine, yeah, I'll let it rock.
It's been the dearest wish of Demoiselle all along.
That blasted stubborn fool. I was right to put my faith in him. I'm so glad I didn't give up on the case all those years ago.
Things turned out as well as they could have.
Oh, by the way, I ran into Charlotte just after I
You ran
left
into
the
baby
memorial
girl.
service. Well, maybe it'd be more accurate to say I knew she would be there, and there was no way she'd just let me go.
Huh? So you know Charlotte too? The Charlotte? Journalist from the steamer?
I wonder how, like, the first introduction to Charlotte goes for people who haven't done the event. I imagine the cutscene will be slightly different if you have to do the introductions, but because we did the event, we already knew Charlotte, which is why when she showed up, she went, oh, you guys! In the same way, like, in, I think it was 2.1, I think, when you meet Scaramouche, if you haven't done the event in 1.1 because it was limited time, you get like a little introduction to Scaramouche then. But if you have, he just goes, oh, it's you again. Because you've already had the introduction with him in a limited time event, while some players, because it's limited time, didn't get it.
Yeah, way back when I first became the president of the Spina di Rosula, she was all over me. Wouldn't take no for an answer. I believe the story was called The True Heart of Darkness, Secret Tales of the Yellow Rose. To be fair, though, it was a really flattering feature. So, we've been on pretty good terms ever since. She was trying to lean on our friendship to get me to do an exclusive piece on the serial disappearances case.
Oh yeah, she told us about that. She's always been super interested in that case, so now her wishes finally come true too.
Anyway, I told her to make sure that when she writes about you guys entering the opera house with the critical evidence, that you both sound really cool.
Now that's another thing to look forward to. We trust Charlotte's skills with a pen for sure.
Oh, and in other news, I also took Clarande out for a meal.
Hey, oh, you took your girlfriend out? I mean, the person that was... It was complicated. It's complicated, because Clarande genuinely does care for Navia and wants the best for her, and was also requested by Navia's father to look after Navia. So those two actually sitting down and having a meal together, that's like... For Clarande, that's probably a huge weight off her shoulders. Because it's like the person that she was asked to protect is now prepared to actually talk with her. You know? I just make the joke because there's a trend of electro girls having trouble with another girl. It's like the lesbian trouble that they joke about. It's always a habit of electro characters having trouble with another girl. Fischl has trouble with Mona, Beidou has trouble with Ningguang, Yae Miko and the Ren Shogun are always at each other's necks. You know, like...
Oh, are you two on better terms now?
While you were investigating Vachey's headquarters, Clarande gave testimony on my father's behalf. It was thanks to her that we were able to turn the tide. I wanted to thank her. I mean, there's also no point in being awkward all the time. So we took the chance to reconcile with each other.
Oh, that's great. Paimon also thought Clarande wasn't actually a bad person. It's always good to have more friends.
You know, there's a real trouble that there's a lot of characters in this update, that in Fontaine even, that I'm kind of... I'm never going to use, but I kind of want to roll for them because I love their character. Like, I had negative interest in Navia because of all my focus being on Clarande and... Arlesheno, and maybe the Archon. But I'm super sold on her character throughout this act, and like some of Act 1 as well. She's a really fun character. I'm like, man, I kind of want her around.
Anyway, now that the case has finally been solved, perhaps it will slowly begin to fade from the public consciousness. Oh, actually, there's still one last thing I need to do.
What is it?
I should pay a visit to my father's grave, and tell him the truth of what happened, as well as how it all ended. And on top of that, just how much people still look up to him, to this day. That includes me, too.
Miss Navia.
Indeed.
Can I come too?
We want to go too! We also think Callis is a really admirable person.
Sure thing. I'd like you two to share the moment with me. After all, without you, there might not have been such a positive ending.
And in that case, everyone, let's be off. Considering the recent weather, we'll be lucky if we can reach Poisson before dark.
Yeah, you're right. It's been raining non-stop for a few days now. This is where my father's grave is. To be perfectly honest, even I haven't been back here for a long time.
Huh? There's someone there already. Wait, that figure. It can't be. Isn't that Neuvillette?
Oh shit!
Be here?
Yeah, I had a feeling he did actually care. Oh.
My apologies. I should have asked before coming to pay my respects.
Don't say that.
Sorry about that.
Oh, I was trying to say there's no need for you to apologize. I wanted to show my father how much I've grown. But still, I doubt I've grown to the point that even the Chief Justice would feel compelled to apologize to me over and over.
In that case, I will stop apologizing for now.
You really could use some pointers on understanding human emotions, Monsieur Neuvillette. In any case, why did you come to Poisson?
Well, ever since that day, I've been turning a question over and over in my head. Just what is justice anyway? There was once a time when I didn't want to believe that there could be anything more important to humans than life itself. Oh, rather than that, It's probably more truthful to say I didn't believe humans were capable of resisting the most basic instinct of living things. That they could rebel against their own nature, or consider certain things to be more important than their own lives.
All you missed is we've gone to Navia's father's grave, and Nura Villette is already there. Oh, my other cat's howling at my door now. I need to get her in as well. Both my cats have decided they want to chill in my room. To be fair, it's raining a lot outside, so I'm not really surprised. My cats just want to be on the end of my bed. 1 second. I always close my door for recording, so there's less background noise, so I just have to let her in.
Which is also why I didn't stop your father from beginning that fateful duel.
I'm back. I've got both cats now on the end of my bed. Socks is already chilled. Sugar, I just picked her up and just put her on the bed, save her fussing, because otherwise she'll just walk around my room meowing and then eventually go to the bed. It's like, if I just put her there now, she can sort it out herself. Okay, don't sit on your sister though, please. Go there. I know you want to get comfy. Sorry, I'm just talking to my cat for a second. Get comfy. Get comfy, but don't literally go to, like, sit on your sister. She doesn't need that. Neither of you are particularly young, so don't sit on her. Yeah, you settle there then, madam. Good girl. Sorry.
I believed that a truly innocent man would never throw away his life like that. That there was nothing, should have been nothing more important than one's own continued survival. But Mr. Callis proved me utterly and decisively wrong. If not for his sacrifice, the serial disappearances case would have remained unsolved to this day. Mr. Callis made the choice he did for his daughter, for his associates, and for many people completely unrelated to him. And in the end, from a certain perspective, one could say that he did it all for the sake of justice. A justice that's higher than life itself. So, you asked me why I came here. I just wanted to say my apologies to Mr. Callis in person. I should have noticed all of this much sooner. This regret has filled me with a sadness that has haunted me for days.
Wow. Oh. Huh. The reason why I'm taking note of this, sorry, the reason why it kind of caught me for a second, it's like, I mentioned this with Navia, and I've been mentioning it since we got the Fontaine. I can feel the Genshin writing team, like, experience as the years have gone by. You know, like, I'm not to say that their writing was bad in Mondstadt, but it's gotten more nuanced, and it's gotten better. They would never have had a fully grown man be this vulnerable. This openly vulnerable with his regrets and his sadnesses and his problems when the game first came out, because they wouldn't have known how to write it. So it's kind of like, I'm just kind of taking a step back as someone who's been on this rodeo since the very start. It's like, man, yeah, their writing team have actually come a ways, you know? And it's also, it makes me appreciate Nouvelle a lot more. Because someone to be this open and honest about about their weaknesses are hard to come by, and I think that deserves some respect. So damn. GG, dude. It's another character that, you know, kind of making me want to get. I'm like, God damn it.
That high and mighty chair in the Opera Epiclese indeed insulates one from many important things. Spina di Rosula, thank you so much for your hard work and perseverance.
I'm sorry for being mad at you before. So, you're actually one of those types that's cold on the outside, but pretty thoughtful on the inside, huh? That reminds me of Silver, one of my guys.
Sorry about that. Self-expression is not one of my strong suits.
Didn't I just say you don't need to apologize?
Ah, so Navia and Nouvellette seem to have made their peace as well. Let's not disturb them for now. We can wait till after they're done.
Following Navia and Nouvellette, you pay your respects.
Paimon's never paid respects at someone's grave before. Did Paimon do anything rude there?
Well, you're not usually supposed to fly around someone's grave.
Huh? Oh, Paimon didn't know that was a thing. But Paimon doesn't know what she would do if she can't fly. Oh no. Paimon hopes Miss Navia won't be too mad.
Wow, look at that smug-ass grin. Look at that smug-ass Lumine. She's just like, oh, she took it seriously.
Anyway,
And it was gone as soon as Paimon turned around. She hit that perfectly.
It's not often that we can catch him alone like this, so why don't we go talk to him for a bit? If we can't talk to Lady Farina, we can at least talk to him, right?
Before we do that, I want to talk to Navia, make sure she's doing okay.
Paimon's really sorry, Navia, but Paimon did something pretty disrespectful just now.
What are you saying, Paimon? I don't think I get it.
Well, aren't you not supposed to fly around someone's grave?
Huh? Who told you that?
Hey! Why did you mess with Paimon again?
Ah, dear. Anyway. Where even are we? Oh, we went past... Oh. The the graveyard, you don't see it as you're entering as a tourist. Because you enter from here, right? The Aqua Bus goes through a tunnel here. So the graveyard is completely obscured if you're a tourist. Because it's only if you know it's there you can go find it. Clever. Hello, tall and handsome.
Oh, it's you two. Did Miss Navia invite you to come pay your respects to her father?
Mm-hmm. We ran into Navia on the streets today, so we just followed her here.
I see. Then is there something that I can help you with?
Well, it's pretty hard to run into you like this, since you're usually super busy. So we figured we could try to ask you a few questions, if that's okay.
Please feel free. Though outsiders, you helped us solve one of the greatest mysteries in Fontaine, and it would be my pleasure to return the favor.
Nouvelle. Oh, I like this dude. I am very much smitten. He is a really cool dude. Like, I knew I was gonna like him anyway because he's voiced by Ray Chase, and like whoever Ray Chase voices, you already know it's a character you're gonna enjoy. I think it's impossible for him to voice a character you don't enjoy. But man, I'm super sold on him as it's gone on. I really enjoy him. And I said his gameplay style uses a cane, and I'm kind of interested in that for that alone. That sounds cool. About water from the Primordial Sea. I bet we have to go through all of these.
So, at court, the bad guys referred to that special water as water from the Primordial Sea. But what is it really?
Truthfully, that name is already quite accurate. I can only surmise that Vacher and his ilk only learned of its nature and existence after extensive research. There used to be a special sea on the surface of this planet. The nature of its seawater was rather different from that of the sea we know today. Most of Tevat's life forms were first born in that special sea. You could say it nurtured much of the life on this planet.
Huh. So it really was where everything began. It makes sense to call it primordial then.
But today, the primordial sea no longer exists on the planet's surface. What Vacher discovered must have been some kind of special case, or a remnant from a truly ancient age.
Huh. So that's how it is. Oh, you really know everything, Monsieur Neuvillette. But if that's the case, then why would people, at least people from Fontaine, dissolve in that kind of water?
Indeed. Why would the primordial sea, which was known to engender and nurture life, suddenly reverse itself and devour life instead? To be frank, that also doesn't match my understanding of this world and its laws. There must still be some unknown secrets around the people of this land. Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about? That the sea levels will rise and everyone will be dissolved in water, leaving Farina crying alone on her throne, but the sins of the people will be finally washed away for good. Does that appropriately summarize the version you've heard?
I'll never forget how they ripped Mexican Paimon from me. Willing to bet that will be back in later story acts. As more trials go on, the only reason I don't think she was dressed up like it in Act 2 is because she wasn't involved in the trial, it was Navia's. But I think in future trials when she is involved, they'll probably bring it back and just make it like the gimmick. And the reason why I say that is because anytime you review notes in the book, Paimon has the glasses on. So I think it's supposed to be like a direct correlation of when you're doing the investigating, Paimon has the glasses on. Great. Stop! Leave the 500-year-old bratty goddess alone.
That's
I wish I'd never made the joke.
It was Lenny that told us back then. And that about covers all the main points.
Yes, up to the present, I think we reached a point where we have no choice but to confront this prophecy directly. Rumors have it that this prophecy is rooted in the last words the former Hydro Archon left to the world before she passed away.
Oh?
A prophecy?
No, I would have saw it on Twitter. No, fair enough.
Wow. This is the first time that we've ever heard of it.
2 parts of the prophecy have already proven correct. The rising sea levels and the ability of the people of Fontaine to be dissolved. We should be more vigilant and stay on the watch for further signs. Speaking of the prophecy, Farina has also always taken it quite seriously. Indeed, she has been collecting information and intelligence from across Tevat for this purpose. If the rumors were true, then perhaps this prophecy is the conundrum left to Farina by her predecessor.
But with Farina being the way she is,
people can call it whatever they want. I just call it Twitter, because it's Twitter. Some rich prick came in and decided he wanted to change its name and smother all his bullshit all over it. Doesn't mean I have to respect it. And the reason why he wanted to call it X is because he's got a hyperfixation on it. He wanted to call PayPal X when he briefly owned it. For goodness sake. Imagine if PayPal got named to X.
Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about?
He got laughed out the room, and he should have been laughed out the room this time around as well, but oh, no, no worries.
My apologies. My investigation has still not reached its conclusion. However, I still believe the judgment of the Oratrice was not rendered arbitrarily.
But you also said you thought he was innocent.
For many years, I have been quite aware that the Oratrice does not simply mechanically repeat the verdict that I give on each case. As a divinely created mechanism, the people's unified faith in the concept of justice is integrated into it. Not only can it produce the incredible power of indemnitium, but it likely also possesses other traits, such as self-awareness.
Security. Oh yeah, I have, on all of my accounts or anything, I have a lot of my accounts, like, 2-factor, if not 3-factor, verified. I have so many pieces in place to protect all my accounts because of paranoia of that. And especially on ones that have a history of being compromisable. It's like the PlayStation Store. Although it's been nearly a decade since the last major compromise, it still got compromised once before, you know? So I make sure everything is, like, super backed up and super double-checked, so it can't get gotten into easily. But I get it, because I think PayPal's been compromised a number of times as well. Twitch got compromised as well. I think that was only a few years ago now. That was a huge one, because it revealed how much every single streamer was earning. So everyone knows who's actually earning really fucking well out of Twitch and who wasn't earning so well, or as well. I think it was like the top 100 streamers all had basically their paychecks revealed to the public because of a leak.
Which is all to say, I've been prepared for a situation like this for a long time.
So when Lenny told us that he heard a human voice from the room where the Oratrice's core is stored...
I was not aware such a thing had occurred. Perhaps that could serve to prove my conjecture. I will add that to the list of items to investigate. In any case, I am inclined to believe that the Oratrice does have a methodology all its own. We just do not have enough information. Based on Farina's reaction, I doubt even she had any idea what was going on. She managed to bluff her way through it, though, with her time-tested twin tricks of bravado and drama. While we do intend to get to the bottom of this, for now, we regret to say that the Fatui Harbinger will just have to bide his time in the fortress of Meripede.
That's what you call the prison? The fortress? Damn. You could just said, oh, he's locked up for now. No, you gave it a really sick name.
If we did incorrectly convict him of crimes he did not commit,
I say that. I come from someone who wrote a book where the prison was called Hall of the Damned, so I also like to get fancy with my prison names.
If you ask Paimon, the only compensation he'll want is a no-holds-barred fight with you.
Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about? Your sibling. Another blonde-haired traveler. I'm sorry, but I've never seen anyone who matches that description. If he ever stepped foot in Fontaine, I'm sure he followed our laws to the letter, and had no reason to appear on the stage of the opera Epicles. Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about?
No, that's everything.
Very well. It was my honor to provide you with what answers I could. I very much enjoyed conversing with you. It will soon be time for me to leave this blissful tranquility behind, and return to Palais Memornia.
You really are super busy, Monsieur Neuvillette. Paimon thought you only came here to pay your respects today because you had the day off.
That could be a little rude, Paimon. I thought you only came here because you had nothing else to do. Yeah, it could be a little rude, Paimon.
Crime and villainy do not have the day off, and so justice must work around the clock as well. This is merely the nature of a justice's work.
All right. You've got a point. Huh? Paimon just noticed that the rain has stopped.
Yeah, and the rain's still hella suspicious. I think the primordial water's gonna be in the rain, or something like that eventually. Oh, and that's where the story ends. But we're not done yet, because we can go hang out with Linny, which is the last main story piece we've got in this patch. Which I'll unlock now, just so we can know to go do it. Because we have to, you know, discuss after everything else that happened. Oh my god, look at all these... Oh, we can go get an interview at the Steambird now, that's funny. God, look at how much stuff I got to do. This is all, like, the stuff we picked up in Fontaine. Well, outside of these are just commissions. Oh, speaking of commissions, I need... Now we've done, like, the main story piece for now, to go see if I can start getting commissions from Fontaine. Maybe. Perhaps. There shouldn't be another possibility. Is there something I can help you with? Are you looking to take on a commission, or send that one out? Just taking a look. I see. If you run into any guild-related issues, you can come and ask me. I will provide the utmost service for you and answer all answerable questions. And we thank you for your contributions to the guild, adventurer, and we wish you smooth travels. Can I start taking commissions in? I can. Alright. Right, so starting tomorrow, all of my daily quests are going to be in Fontaine. Which means I've officially, quote-unquote, moved. I always do this. When a new region comes out, I effectively move over there. I make all my commissions there, and I pretty much don't go anywhere else. So we're basically living in Fontaine now for the foreseeable. All of this is just going to flow into the background unless we do, like, events and whatnot. We still got to pick up that quest as well. Where do I want to go next? Linny is over here. No, I'll move on to the main quest. I was debating whether I wanted to do some side stuff first, but now I think if we get the main stuff done, then it doesn't really matter like what we get up to with it tomorrow. But we can just go explore and do side quests, and then at the end of tomorrow's stream, it can be like whatever, you know? It can be like, okay, we're done. And then I can get back on Allure and start Resident Evil 6 and eventually Crystar next week.
Hey, isn't that Charlotte? I see. So you believe that this warning letter was sent by the Phantom Weasel?
The Phantom Weasel. Oh, cool. Hello, Charlotte. I love Charlotte's design still. That's the biggest curse. Everyone in Fontaine looks kind of cool to me, so that's why I end up wanting to get them all. I'm like, man, fashion is on point here.
Absolutely. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The Phantom Weasel never acts as you expect. He must have faked his own death 10 years ago using a body double. Now that he's back, I'm sure the guards who worked on his case back in the day are in for a headache, but however this turns out in the end, the one thing it won't be is boring.
couldn't agree more. As a journalist, I'm gonna get a lot of mileage out of this one. Thank you, sir, for your time. Now, whom should I interview next? Huh? Hey! What a coincidence! Fancy meeting you here.
Hey, beautiful. Hey, Charlotte.
Perfect timing. So, the Phantom Weasel's latest warning letter. What are your thoughts?
Phantom Weasel?
Yeah, this is the first time we're hearing of this one. Could you clue us in?
Huh? Oh, sorry. Yes, this case is from a decade ago. I guess you wouldn't know about it. Well, not to worry. You're in good hands because I'm a professional. The story goes like this. 10 or so years ago, a phantom thief became active in the court of Fontaine. Known only as the Weasel.
Don't remember this Phantom Thief in Persona 5.
Authorities never managed to catch him.
Joker. Panther. Skull. Weasel. Yeah, I don't remember that one. Doesn't roll off the tongue the same way.
Wow, cool! He sounds like one of those mysterious night burglars that you read about in novels.
Precisely. Well, except the part where they actually have a good reputation. Our Weasel targeted whatever people held dear, and no one was safe from his predations. He would just as soon steal a necklace from a rich merchant's safe as he would a toy doll given to a commoner child for their birthday.
Sounds like an absolute weirdo.
I know. The phantom thieves you read about in novels rob the rich to pay the poor, but this guy did not discriminate. Unsurprisingly, this didn't work wonders for his public reputation. Every man and his dog wanted to see him behind bars.
Yeesh. So, did they catch him?
Not exactly. There's a good chance that the Weasel would still be at large to this day if it hadn't been for an accident 10 years ago. A magician named Caesar fell to his death in a botched high-altitude escape performance. When the police went through his personal effects, they found a hoard of stolen loot and gadgets used for criminal activities. And that was how the Phantom Weasel's identity was revealed to all. Sure enough, thefts in Fontaine went down after Caesar's death. But today, 10 years on, the notorious thief has once again issued one of his warning letters and pasted it on the gate of the Opera Epiclese for all to see. I had to squeeze through the crowd this morning to get a photo as soon as I heard. Here, it's this one.
Oh, jeez. All newspaper clippings, huh?
So,
the old way of doing a warning letter.
Huh? Let's see what he wrote. 3 days from now, when evening falls, I shall take from you that which you hold most dear at the Opera House, just as you did to me 10 years ago.
This is, without a doubt, a clear declaration of criminal intent. After years of laying low, the Phantom Weasel is back with a vengeance. What once seemed like an open and shut case has been blown wide open again. But why has he re-emerged now, and what does he want? I sense an epic scoop, and I'm going for it.
Uh-oh. If this thief will steal anything that other people value, does that mean even we might be targeted?
He might try to nab you, little Paimon.
But Paimon doesn't want to get kidnapped. Well, he'd have to go through you first.
Okay, the people have spoken.
Oh, whoops, didn't mean to interrupt Paimon there. I thought she finished speaking. I can see Linné from here. I can see him in the background doing his bullshit. Up on the upper platform.
Let's see, I've got a photo of the letter, my interview notes. Yep.
Oh, never mind, they wanted you to notice him.
Of my article. It does feel like something is missing, though. Something exclusive. Who should I interview next? I need someone with a more concrete connection to the Weasel. Is that who I think it is?
Linny!
Looks like he's performing some magic.
Magic.
He's doing literal street musician. Street magic.
That's it! Let's go interview Linny!
Charlotte, I don't know how to break this to you. Linny and I still aren't the greatest of terms after the reveal that he's Russian. I mean, part of the Fatui.
You see, the original Phantom Thief Caesar was a magician too. And what do Phantom Thieves and magicians have in common? They both have an air of mystery about them. Perhaps there's a connection there.
Are you serious? What sort of a deduction is that?
Oh, relax. My journalistic instinct tells me that an exclusive news story is beckoning. Let's go. No time for delay.
Phyllis, this is just chapter Act 1. Well, most of them are Act 1, to be fair, so that doesn't really help.
Wow, Mr. Magician! How did you know which card I picked?
Oh, it's simple. Come closer, and I'll let you in on my secret. Magicians have a special skill called telepathy, which means we can read other people's minds.
Really? Then, what am I thinking now?
Well, first you need to relax, because I can see that you're clenching your fist in your mind, as if to say, no, I mustn't let him guess it.
Aww.
And now you're getting a little flustered. You're trying to find a way to empty your mind, to think of nothing at all. But the more you try to hide a secret, the easier it'll come out. You snuck out from home today, didn't you? You told your family a little lie so you could come out and play. Now, that's not a good habit.
You can tell? Oh boy, you really can read my mind.
Of course. Oh, and that's the end of my performance. You should really be heading home. Remember to apologize to your family, all right? They must be worried about you.
All right, got it. Bye, Mr. Magician.
Hey, Linny?
Why, hello. We meet again. Are you looking for me? What's the situation?
Well, why don't you guess, Mr. Telepathic?
Oh, please. You didn't believe that spiel, did you? The power of telepathy is quite beyond me.
I'm sure that child would beg to differ. Seemed like you were right on the money.
That was nothing more than a little trickery. I made an educated guess based on his micro-expressions. That, plus the fact that he was the only kid here without his parents, and he looked as guilty as sin. He made it easy for me. You guys, on the other hand? Let me guess. Don't tell me you're here for the Phantom Weasel, are you?
Wow! Got it in one! Is this more of your trickery at work?
Wait, really? No trickery this time. It was pure luck. His warning letter's been the talk of the town, so I figured that maybe you were asking around about that.
Bingo! I plan on writing a column reporting on the latest news about the Phantom Weasel. So, Linny, what are your thoughts on this infamous thief's reappearance?
To be honest, it makes me angry.
Angry? Why?
You read his letter, right? The Phantom Weasel claims he's planning something in 3 nights' time at the Opera House. That's the night I'll be performing there.
Huh. What are the chances?
And if they're trying to steal a treasure from Linny's going to be worried that means he's going to try and take his sister. Because, you know, there's past experience of people trying to kidnap Lynette.
Wait a minute, you don't think he's after you, do you?
Well, if he is, then his warning is clearly a direct challenge to me personally. And if he's not, then it's still going to be a huge headache for me. The mere mention of the Weasel's name is enough to scare people off. So once the contents of that letter get out, barely anyone will be showing up to watch my show. But I've been preparing for this for a long time. I'm not about to let him ruin my big day. This leaves me with only one choice. I have to expose the Phantom Weasel's identity before the show begins.
Meanwhile, in Charlotte, her eyes just glue. Her eyes just sparkle, like she can see the dollar signs. She's just like, oh, if I stick with him, there's going to be a story here.
Really?
Yep.
So what you're saying is, we might get to see a live duel between a famous magician and an infamous thief? Wow, this has exclusive written all over it.
To be honest, I'm not sure if I'll emerge the victor. The Phantom Weasel is a notorious crook, infamous for his inscrutable methods.
You're being far too modest, Linny. I think your magic tricks are even more inscrutable than those of a thief.
Thanks for the compliment, though I have to say, I don't care much for the comparison. A lot of people liken magicians to thieves because we both have the ability to make things disappear without the person noticing. But there's an important difference that these people overlook. Allow me to demonstrate with a quick magic trick. Here, I have a flower, just an ordinary flower that was picked not long ago. Watch it carefully now. 3, 2, 1.
It's gone!
Where'd it go?
That's the question. Where did it go? Therein lies the difference between us. Thieves make precious things disappear, but only magicians make them reappear. If I could now invite you all to check your clothes, there might be a surprise in there somewhere.
A surprise? Let me see!
Huh? Oh, yeah, it's on her brooch. Or on her necklace.
But how? You haven't moved this whole time!
What an outstanding trick! Sorry, Lenny, it seems that my previous praise was woefully inadequate. Clearly, magic is the superior art form to theft.
Don't worry, I didn't take offense. I just wanted to take the opportunity to perhaps change some of the preconceived notions you might have about magicians. Since Caesar's death, a lot of people associate magicians with criminality. It can be quite frustrating.
I can imagine. Coming back to your trick just now, might I presume that you are well versed in floral symbolism? For example, magicians often use rainbow roses in their flower-related performances to represent passion and romantic encounters. But you used a Lumidu spell, which, if I'm not mistaken, allude to separations. I'm curious to know if there was any deeper meaning behind this choice?
Impressive knowledge. It's no wonder you're such a successful journalist. But I'm afraid I don't know the first thing about floral symbolism. I'm just in the habit of using Lumidu spells in my magic. It sounds like something I should look into, though. I'll buy myself a copy of Fontaine's Floral Language Facts when I have some time. But it'll have to wait until this phantom weasel business is behind us.
Well noted. In that case, this brings us to the end of our interview. I, for one, am looking forward to the final showdown between you and the thief. Please feel free to get in touch to update me on any further developments. Otherwise, I will of course see you at your show in 3 days' time. But let's hope the Phantom Weasel is caught by then.
Oh, silly Linny and Mike Bossy call out fake news. I only just noticed that comment. I don't know how long ago you made it. I was too busy listening to the story.
If there's nothing else, I'll be off. You've given me lots to work with here.
Oh, Charlotte, you don't have to go yet. I enjoy your company. You're such a quirky, like, dork. I know I just dropped a hard D on her like that, but no, she really is.
So, Lenny, are you gonna tell us how you did that flower trick now?
I'm afraid that's my little secret.
Also, where's your sister? I thought Lynette's always, like, near you, more so to keep an eye on your sorry ass. Or your loud ass.
Well, magicians are entitled to their secrets. But Paimon's really itching to know how it's done. You feel it too, right? So itchy!
So about this Phantom Weasel...
Not so itchy then, huh? Well, since you're so concerned, how would you like to serve as my temporary magician's assistants and help me investigate?
Magician's assistants? Oh, that sounds fun!
Paimon, it's amazing how quickly you've put aside the whole we're not supposed to trust him anymore because he's somewhat associated with the Fatui.
Also, it'll bring us one step closer to figuring out how that darn trick is done. Shall we go for it?
Fine, we'll help you with your investigation.
Excellent. Thank you for putting your trust in moi. The first thing we need to look into is who Caesar really was. If he truly was the Phantom Weasel, that means that the weasel is dead, and whoever wrote this warning letter is just a copycat criminal. But if he wasn't the weasel? Well, that'll make things more interesting. It would mean that the weasel lives, and he's been laying low all this time in some corner of Fontaine. And if we're investigating Caesar, his fiancée Gemma is a good place to start. Word is that she visits the cemetery often, so I asked Lynette to wait for her there.
Oh, and there's our Lynette. We'll find the fiancé. So there's some mention of marriage then, fiancé.
We should make a move. Let's go and rendezvous with Lynette.
I've got the gift of parting. Go to the cemetery to look for Gemma. And we know where the cemetery is now. That's an underground warp. Let's go to this one. Well, it's not that underground, it's just in there. Oh, I'll get that treasure chest first, though. That's good.
Take it easy.
Gotcha. I think I mentioned this yesterday, but I'm not looking at the basic enemy levels of the area. I still think the most dangerous area in the game are the areas around Inazuma. I'm pretty sure like the basic enemy level over there are like 92 to 94. Which it makes sense, because Inazuma, although these areas came later, Inazuma is the hardest... Map, please. Is the hardest place to reach, because you have to do so much mandatory story before it's even available. Whilst literally everything before this ocean, once you do the prologue tutorial, you can just go freely explore all of this. You might not be able to do the story until later on, obviously, but you can freely wander all of here. So I guess it makes sense that because Inazuma's the only one you can't freely wander, it's the one that's got the tougher enemies. To me, marriage is the goal. Nah. I get it, and that's fair enough. To me, marriage is a huge whatever. It really is. If whoever I meet in life wants to be married, awesome. If whoever I meet in life doesn't, awesome. You know, that's kind of where I'm at with it. I'm not that interested in being so in love with someone I get legality involved. You know? If I love someone, that's enough. And if someone chooses to love me, that's more than enough. But that's just me. My sister got married and I support her every step of it, you know? It's just each their own. Hello, Lynette. Hello, the preferred sibling.
Your time.
the straight man to Linnea's bullshit.
Sorry, I bumped into the Traveler and Charlotte en route, and we ended up chatting for a while.
I'm this weird mix of boomer old school and true blue millennial status. Fair enough.
It's been a while, Lynette. We're working as Lenny's temporary assistants in the investigation of the Phantom Weasel.
Thank you. It's good to have you helping.
So, what's the situation? Have you seen Gemma?
Nope. I've been here a while, and she still hasn't shown up.
You know, I hope Lynette gets a hangout event. Because, like, her brother gets a big story quest, she gets bugger all. I mean, she's free, so I guess that's the trade-off. You can get her as a free playable character. But at the same time, it's like, no, where's her story? Well, I want to do hangout events. I want to hang out with Lynette.
How bizarre. Maybe it was bad intel. Well, we won't get anywhere by standing around waiting. Traveler, Paimon, let's go ask around.
A lot of people here today, huh? When did this cemetery get so popular?
Same thoughts here. What's going on?
Excuse me, good sir.
Oh, this is the person we were supposed to talk to then, if it went to cutscene mode. Got it.
Gemma? You mean Caesar's fiancé? Sure I do. What's this about?
I'm just trying to get a hold of her because I need her help with something. I heard she comes here a lot?
Yeah, she does. Poor thing. It's no secret why, either. She's heartsick. Ever since Caesar passed away, she's been coming here once every week to clean his grave. Often, she just sits there in front of his headstone, lost in thought. Sometimes she talks to herself. I asked her what she was doing once. She said she wanted to speak to him again. She knows he's gone and can't hear her from the grave, but she just likes to spend time there, telling her fiancé all about how her life is going.
And she's been doing this ever since Caesar passed away? Oh, so 10 years. Wow. Their love must have been really strong.
I'll bet. Caesar's reputation fell apart after his identity was revealed, so no one else visits his grave. Gemma's the only one who still thinks about him after all these years. I don't know if the mind lives on in the waters after death, but if it does, I'm sure Caesar must be grateful to have someone who remembers him fondly. If I'm honest, I think this is all so unfair to poor Gemma. Her fiancé was a low-life crook. He doesn't deserve someone like her. Anyway, all of that said, she's running later than usual today. Normally, she'd be sitting in front of his grave by now. I wonder if she's okay. Well, that's everything I know, I'm afraid. You might have more luck asking some other people.
All right, well, thanks for sharing all of this with us. We'll keep asking around.
You're welcome. I just hope she'll be able to move on one day.
Oh, and now we got to talk to them, huh? Okay, I see.
Did you hear the news?
I thought I spoke to him in the wrong order.
You're kidding. Wait, isn't he dead?
I don't know anymore. All sorts of news flying around nowadays. I can never tell what's true and what isn't. But what if, just hypothetically, I mean, what if this weasel's the real deal and Caesar was framed?
Called it. Seriously, 10 years ago, on the day it all went down, I said to myself, You know what? This guy's been set up. The Caesar I knew was a good guy. He gave balloons to
Juliana, are
children
you the
on
sort of person
street,
that
for
always
Pete's
does
sake.
this?
What,
As
are
soon
we
as the
supposed to
story
believe
changes,
that
you
he
go,
was a
oh, I
balloon
knew it,
thief
just so
or
you can
something?
pretend that you're
Give
all
me a
smart and
break.
high and mighty.
Oh, please. Weren't you the one cursing his name to high heaven when the police announced the news? You were all, oh, that gosh darn lousy son of a, you think you know a guy, or words to that effect.
Wait, did I say that? I don't seem to recall.
Sorry to interrupt.
Hello there. Sorry for disturbing you, but I couldn't help but notice you were discussing the Phantom Weasel. We're actually quite interested in this topic as well, but we're struggling to get to the bottom of it. Do you think you could spare a moment to tell us a little bit about Caesar?
You've come to the right people. Yep, I was there. Back when Caesar used to perform magic tricks on the street. He was a great magician. The best trick I ever saw him do was pop a transparent balloon, only for a whole bunch of doves to fly out from the inside. I was right up close and didn't blink or look away once. But for the life of me, I still don't have the faintest clue how he pulled it off. Really incredible stuff.
I saw him perform too. He always used to bring some gifts along for the kids who came to watch his show, and he'd hand them out after he was done. Sometimes he even got the kids to write their wishes down, and then he'd make the items on the wish list appear in his next show.
Huh. He doesn't sound like such a bad guy.
But after he died, there were also rumors that he used the wish list to find out what was precious to people, with the intent to steal it later. As I'm sure you know, the Phantom Weasel would steal just about anything from anyone.
Whatever the case, now that the Weasel is back, Caesar's become a hot topic once more. I bet Gemma must be pleased. If Caesar's name gets cleared, maybe it'll finally give her some solace after all this time. No, speak of the devil. That's her over there. If you've got any more questions about Caesar, she's definitely the one to ask.
So that's Gemma. Is it just Paimon, or does it look like something's wrong? Wait, it looks like she's injured. Come on, let's see if she's okay.
Oh, we're just gonna go straight up. Okay, I was gonna say, do we have to run over there? Hi.
Hi there. You're Gemma, right?
Who's asking?
Don't be afraid. We mean no harm. It looks like you're injured. How bad is it?
Thanks for your concern, but you didn't answer my question. Who are you, and what do you want with me?
My name is Linny, and this is my sister Lynette.
My name's Paimon, and this here's the Traveler. We're investigating the Phantom Weasel.
The Weasel posted a warning letter this morning. If he still lives, that means that Caesar was falsely accused. You knew Caesar better than anyone else. So if you're willing, we'd love to hear what you think about all this. I promise you can trust us. We won't hurt you. In fact, we'll do all we can to keep you safe.
I never believed that he was the Weasel.
Huh. I suspected as much. Okay, so going back 10 years, do you remember anything strange in the weeks leading up to the accident? Did Caesar have a falling out with anyone, for instance?
No, not that I know of.
Got it. All right, sorry for disturbing you.
If you don't have any more questions, please leave. I want to be alone with him.
Judging by the look on her face, there's definitely something fishy about her.
She's lying. She definitely knows something.
Well, to be fair, can you blame her? She's not going to just trust 4 random strangers going up and saying, hey, can we ask questions about your dead husband? Or dead fiancé? If she simply doesn't trust us.
That's fair. We're just a bunch of strangers who showed up and started questioning her about things that happened a whole decade ago. It makes sense that she'd be wary around us. In any case, I doubt we'll get any further here, so let's call it a day. Meet me outside Hotel de Boer tomorrow, and then we'll start the next step of our plan.
Alrighty. Oh, she's just gone. I was gonna say, she's still here. We've got to go meet outside the hotel tomorrow at 8. So if I just go there now. Oh, Linny already spawned in. As soon as I clicked it, he spawned in. It preempted.
Over here.
Lynette's not joining us today?
I've had her follow Gemma and see if we can make any inroads with her. They should be at a cafe right now. Still, I don't think that Gemma's likely to open up to us. So, we need a contingency plan.
That sounds worrying. What should we do?
Today, we'll be looking into a guy named Lorenzo, Caesar's former pupil and assistant. When Caesar passed away, all the stolen goods discovered in his home were confiscated and returned to their rightful owners. But Lorenzo was the only one privy to all his magic secrets, and he inherited his craft. Before long, Lorenzo was the next big magician in town, his fame surpassing even that of his master, and it made him very wealthy. He's since left the magic scene, though, and these days, he's a wealthy businessman with his fingers in a lot of different pies. I had to pull a lot of strings, but I managed to get him to agree to a couple of drinks with me. Be warned, though, I hear he's got a hair-triggered temper. We'd best be careful.
When you say hair-triggered temper, is it gonna be one of those things where it's like easily ruled by his emotion, or does it literally just mean he's gonna be a really angry motherfucker about everything? We're gonna go in and go, "Hi, how you doing? Fuck you." Oh, okay.
You neglected to mention that you were bringing 2 other people.
Oh, yep, already off to a great start.
My apologies. These 2 are my assistants. When they heard that I was meeting with the former magic maestro himself, they begged and pleaded with me to bring them along. And if it's no trouble, a couple of autographs would really make their day.
Oh, forget the pleasantries, just sit.
Get a load of this guy. Forget the pleasantries, he says, but he looks pretty happy about Linny stroking his ego.
I only agreed to meet since we're both magicians. Do me a favor and cut to the chase. I have more important things to do than drinking.
Much obliged, sir. As it happens, the matter I want to address is also related to magic. Yesterday morning, a warning letter from the Phantom Weasel appeared on the entrance to the Opera House. He claims to be planning something for the same evening that I'm scheduled to do a magic show there. As such, I believe that I may well be his target. I have to get to the bottom of this to ensure that my show can go ahead as planned. Naturally, any investigation into the Weasel starts with a few questions about Caesar, who...
What is there to investigate? Caesar was the Weasel, and he's been dead for 10 years. So what if some sick creep thought it'd be funny to write a warning letter? It changes nothing. Are you trying to tell me you actually bought it?
Please, sir, no need to get so worked up. I do concede that a copycat is but one possibility.
Possibility? It's a fact, Linny. Look, my patience is limited, so listen carefully while I'm still willing to put up with you. The Weasel is dead. Period. Everyone knows that,
hey,
so do yourself
Weasel
a favor and quit this investigation. It'll lead you nowhere. Look, if this affects your magic show in any way, I will personally compensate you for any losses.
Oh, sir, I'm honored, really. But this isn't about finances for me. My pride as a magician is what's at stake here, Lorenzo. Copycat or not, this person has thrown me the gauntlet, and I must meet their challenge head-on.
Your pride? Don't mince words with me, boy. Just tell me, what exactly are you seeking to do?
I want to find out the Phantom Weasel's true identity. I have to know for myself what really happened 10 years ago.
What would that accomplish? And what do the events of 10 years ago have to do with you, anyway? Look, you of all people should know that a magician never reveals their secrets. And in any case, dead men don't talk. So if you really care about your magician's pride, then you'll forget about Caesar and move on.
Uh-oh. This is getting awkward.
Lorenzo? Is that? Oh, it is you! I know that big, booming voice anywhere. What's up, my man? Want to grab a drink with me?
What's up, my man? That was so natural.
Another day, I'm busy.
come on! You can't be all business all the time. You know what they say?
Also, wasn't this whole story event supposed to be that we meet Linny in the morning? How drunk is this dude already? It's 8 a.m.
Relax once in a while.
If I wanted your life advice, I'd ask for it. Now get out of my face and go be drunk somewhere else.
Sorry, my good sir. I don't believe I've had the pleasure.
Oh, hey! Edmondo. He and I are business pals. We worked together a bunch of times. This is your first time meeting him? Oh, he's always like this. Foul-mouthed and hard-nosed. Never heard a kind word out of this guy the whole time I've known him. And he wonders why he can't get a girlfriend, despite
Jesus
being,
Christ, Edmondo, go for the jugular, why don't you?
Something.
Wow, and you revealed his age.
A lot older than when he first got rejected by the girl he was into. And he's still into, from what I hear.
Shut up and get out of my face. Another word out of you and you can forget about doing business with me ever again. Do I make myself clear?
Alright, I bet I already know what the story is. He's the real thief. He likes that girl who was the accused's fiance, and so he got the fiance killed in what looked like a suicide, in the hopes, and then just did away with the weasel thing since it didn't work, and was hoping that eventually she'd move on and he could sweep in.
Sorry, I may have had a little too much to drink. All right, I'm gonna leave. Don't work too hard.
I think it's high time I made a move as well. If you really want to investigate this, Linny, be my guest. But if nothing good comes of it, don't say I didn't warn you.
Well, that fell to pieces in a rather spectacular fashion. Any thoughts?
Something strange about him.
Totally. And what was all that about compensating you for your losses? Why would someone you just met make an offer like that?
He's trying to get the conversation away.
He's gotta be hiding something. And not like Gemma. She was a little suspicious, but this guy's definitely covering something up.
I think so too. We need to look into Lorenzo more closely. That guy Edmondo seems to know a thing or two about him. He only just left. Let's see if we can catch up with him.
And maybe sober him a little bit so we can get more concrete information out of him.
Take it easy.
That would help. Where is this drunkard? Other than facing the sunlight.
You okay there?
Who are you? Oh, it's you guys. Don't worry about me. I must have had one too many. I just need to ride it out. I say way too much back there, didn't I? Yeah, I nearly talked myself into complete financial ruin. Note to self, no more drunken chats when Lorenzo's around.
So, he was serious about threatening to cut you off? Paimon knew he was a bad egg!
Hey! Keep your voice down. Don't go prying into Lorenzo's personal affairs. Bad things happen to people who ask too many questions. Or make an enemy out of them.
What kind of bad things?
Don't even ask. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to cut this conversation short. I'm not crossing that line again. And take it from me, trouble with Lorenzo is one thing you don't need in your life. You saw him flare up back there. I don't know what you said to him, but clearly it touched a nerve. That's not a good sign. You're too young for this. Don't get in over your head. I'm leaving.
And there he goes. What do we do now, Lenny?
Shh! I think we're being watched. Someone was listening in to our whole conversation. Don't say anything and don't look back. Any altercation in the city will attract the guards. We'd better take this elsewhere.
Ooh. Get out of the city and lure out the people tailing you. Oh, super out of the city. Oh, okay. God, I decided to just warp. I was going to see if I could take the long way around. No, we would have been out there for a while. We would have to hop on the bus and everything.
You followed us a long way. Why don't you come out and introduce yourselves?
So you're Linny. And where's your sister? Ain't she with you today? Save us the trouble and go fetch her for us. Let's not drag this out.
Paimon doesn't like the tone of your voice, mister! Who sent you, huh?
Save your questions, missy. You ain't gonna need answers where you're going. Capiche?
Looks like we can't avoid this fight. Now, I'm not the strongest fighter, so I hope you're ready to back me up.
Don't worry, we got this!
Oh, let's go beat up the Fontaine Mafia. Oh, I'm not the strongest fighter, but I will be in the party.
Illusion shattered! Game's up. Fun's over. Gotcha.
Oh, that was a quick fight.
Curses. They're tougher than we thought.
Vision wielders are always trouble. Intimidation ain't gonna work like it did on the lady.
Come on, let's scram!
Hey, wise guys! We ain't through with you yet! Oh, they got away! Did you catch what they said just before they left? Something about intimidating someone else. Sounds like they just wanted to rough us up as a scare tactic. And they've already done it to someone else, but who?
Could it be Gemma?
You're right. She was injured when we saw her yesterday, and she acted like she had something to hide. Maybe she was too scared to tell us the truth because those guys had threatened her.
Well, if that's the case, she should be more willing to open up to us once she learns that those thugs won't be bothering her anymore. Let's head back to the cafe and see if we can get any information from her.
Fucking Fontaine as a mafia, for goodness sake. Paimon even called them wise guys, for goodness sake.
Take it easy.
Have I shopped at this cafe yet? I'm going to see if I can quickly, before plot. I don't think I have. I don't think I've been here. What do you sell, my friend? Aha, recipes. Oh, Renette's having a chat. Jesus, those teacups are almost as big as their heads.
Gemma?
You again. What is it this time?
We just ran into the men who've been threatening you, and we gave them a taste of their own medicine. So, you can relax now. We're here to protect you.
What? Why? I didn't tell you anything. Why would they come after you?
Sounds like they're no strangers to you.
That's putting it mildly. I know them all too well, and I hate them with every fiber of my being. It's been 10 long years, and still every time I try to look into Caesar's death, they show up and warn me not to do anything stupid. How do I know I can trust you? Do you really think you can get to the bottom of it all? And why are you doing this?
I'm like, hi, I'm the Traveler. I have stopped a dragon, I've stopped a tsunami, I've stopped an angry goddess, and I've stopped an entire university from, like, making Evangelion. Hi. Also, I solved 2 crimes in this very country not that long ago. Hi, you can trust me. I solve problems. I'm a professional problem solver.
I'm afraid I can't reveal all the details just yet, but I can promise you this. I will expose the Phantom Weasel's true identity. Because you see, this is a personal matter of the utmost importance. I give you my word. Trust me.
Okay. How can I help you?
I've heard that Caesar used to have a magic workshop where he kept a lot of his personal effects. If possible, I'd like to take a look at them. Do you know where it is?
The Fleuve Sonde. But the place was sealed up by the police after his death, and no one's been there since. I also know that the Fleuve Cendre is dangerous territory. Lots of hostile groups lurking around. If you're serious about going there, please be careful.
Understood. Lynette, you stay here and take care of Gemma. Don't let her come to harm.
Well, the fact that you're just entrusting Lynette to deal with any, like, men in black, basically, to come attack them, makes me think that canonically Lynette's actually pretty dangerous. Like, she's actually a pretty feisty fighter when she needs to be.
Got it. But if I'm staying here, I'm ordering dessert.
Mood.
I mean, bon appetit. But stay sharp, too. They're likely to come for you while I'm away.
Okay. Alright. Power saving mode off. I'll start taking this more seriously now. With me here, nothing will happen.
Yeah, I think she's secretly, like, extremely deadly. Especially after everything that happened to them when they were kids. I'm not surprised if she's, you know, learnt to enforce some self-defense training on herself. And learnt a few things or two to make sure that nothing can come to her.
If Gemma gave us the right location, then the workshop should be right nearby. Huh. Looks like these boxes are blocking the entrance. Let's shift them away first. There we go. It should be just down here.
Dungeon? Dungeon. Oh, we need to have a fire character with us. It's going to give us Linny, but we have Hu Tao with us anyway. I'll try and use Linny a little bit, show him off. It's a character quest. Like, I get the gist. You get some double charge. You can leave bombs and troubles around. Oh, okay, these do move. I was about to say, these gonna move?
This was Caesar's workshop. Nothing suspicious here, just normal magic props. What's that in
I like this almost like detective noir piece that's playing in the background.
What was that? Oh, is this one of Caesar's gadgets? Guess we must have triggered some sort of device.
Yeah, I had a feeling. Bop them and they stay.
Now disappear!
Whoa. Look, the doll in the box is glowing.
Oh, and they're moving.
There's something written on the card on this doll. Let's take a closer look.
I'd like a little dove. I want a robot with cool powers. No, you need your parents' permission to own a pet, and you also need to take good care of it. I brought a fluffy dove for you this time. If you're ready to own a pet, I'll make a real dove appear for you next time. I want a bucket of fried chicken that never runs out. I'd like a new bag. No, there's no such thing as fried chicken that never runs out, just as there's no such thing as children who never grow up. Also, eating too much fried food is bad for you. Make sure to pair it with something healthy, like a salad, alright? Like a Caesar salad, get it? Sorry.
These magic boxes are moving.
You probably hit the one that's glowing.
One of them looks different from the rest. Let's investigate.
Yep. Well, that was easy enough. Same again on this side, I imagine? Yep. Oh, cute. I was expecting to open up something over here. should at least have a look for treasure chests, though. If nothing else. God, I'm sorry, Linny. It's you're smarter. You're shorter, not smarter.
Shall we
You
try
can tell
a
I'm
different
tired. You're shorter, so you don't move as fast. So we're going back to tall late these.
That's weird. Have we reached the end already?
Oh, if he's a magician, there's going to be more tricks here.
Maybe this was a wasted trip.
Linny, what are you looking at?
This place seems a little too ordinary for a magician's workshop. There's a distinct lack of mystery. We've triggered quite a few devices on the way here. I'm starting to wonder whether Caesar built this whole place as one big, elaborate magic contraption. If so, then there must be more to this place than meets the eye. Maybe a hidden room somewhere. Aha! If I just move this book, then hopefully... and... presto!
I like how he's standing on books.
Passageway! How did you know?
I'm a magician too, and apparently great minds really do think alike. Looks pretty big inside. Let's head in and take a look around.
Yeah, just like stand on these so you can reach the shelf, my dude. Oh, more trouble.
Quietly now. Busted. Take it easy.
You know, I am kind of missing like the more non-linear dungeon design that we had in some like events and like some in Leeway. Like this is just kind of like a linear string of working through it. Like I still think some of my favorite dungeons were honestly the ones just before Sumeru came out in 2.8. The event dungeons we did, where you had like Mona's domain, Fischl's domain. Some of those areas were amazing.
Busted. Crush.
And I really hoped that not necessarily like their aesthetics, obviously their aesthetics going to change with different things that goes on. But their creativity would continue. But they've just gotten linear again since, and it's like, oh. I know that there was like
Is there some device?
there was a bit of a hot topic with Mona's one because the puzzles were very complicated, and it actually required you to pay a lot of attention and figure it out. But I loved them. I was genuinely super for it because they were focused and controlled, and not Sumeru where the puzzle is, hey, you need to go travel the entire goddamn map for one piece of the puzzle.
Huh. It just looks familiar somehow. Let me check this out for a second while you guys go on ahead. If anyone makes a major discovery, let's rendezvous here.
All right, see you in a bit.
Solve the puzzle. Oh, never that easy. Oh. Genius. I can solve your puzzles. I've played Sonic Frontiers. I can solve the just step on all the right panel puzzles.
Wow! There's a hidden room here! This book's thick as a brick! Let's take a peek inside it, shall we?
Oh god, there's a lot here. Okay, before I do this, I'm going to take a quick pee break. So back in just a minute. Even though it's raining and a bit cooler, it's still kind of hot, so I've been drinking a lot of water throughout this stream. And also I'm tired, so I'm just drinking more anyway, just to kind of like perk myself up. It's the curse of not sleeping too well with the temperature. So I'll be back in just a minute. Right, I'm back. Let's go through these. About the wish lists.
At one of my shows a few days ago, a child asked me how I pulled candy out of my hat. As a joke, I told the kid that the hat has a built-in wish-granting machine. Next thing I know, today a whole bunch of kids were pestering me to pull all sorts of things out of the hat. So I told them another white lie. The machine needs time to power up, but in the meantime, you can write your wishes down. Well, they took me up on that offer, enthusiastically. As I write this, I've only just got back from running around all over town, buying the things they wanted. Boy, are my legs sore. I wound up saving very little this month, but that's not a major issue. I now have a bigger problem. How am I going to hide all these things inside my hat?
About the children studying magic.
2 children came to talk to me after today's show. I don't know why they were out on their own. They looked much too young to be unsupervised. I do hope they got home safely. Anyway, they said that they wanted me to teach them how to do magic. It's not uncommon for children to ask this, of course, but I've never seen any of them as serious about it as these 2.
Oh geez, I wonder if 10 years ago this was Linny and Lynette that asked this man.
I told them that learning magic is very hard work, but that didn't faze them at all. It's like they already knew. And they seemed so committed. I couldn't turn them down.
About Lorenzo's issues.
It seems like something's bothering Lorenzo lately, but he won't open up to me about it. Surely he's not upset that I agreed to teach those 2 children. I'll have to talk him around. I have a good feeling about those kids. They're naturally talented, and it seems like they're not new to the world of magic. They have all sorts of fantastic ideas. All I'm really doing is helping them develop a more professional standard training plan. They wanted to call me Master, but I told them they absolutely mustn't. Any magician worth their salt could have taught them what I have. They're the geniuses here. Compared to them, I don't deserve to be called any sort of master. With time, I have no doubt that they could become far greater magicians than I. My only concern is why they're so mature for their age. I fear they've had to grow up too fast. I don't dare to imagine what they must have been through.
Oh, it's absolutely Linny and Lynette then. So they met them after Arlecchino, you know, murdered their previous owner after he tried to literally extort Lynette.
Gemma thinks so too. She doesn't like being around them. Says that their eyes are too piercing. They don't bother me, but then again, I've never been the sharpest tool in the shed.
And about the farewell.
It's nearly time for me to go on tour. I asked the 2 kids if they'd like to come with me, but they shook their heads. I once overheard them talking about their father and their mission.
Oh.
Sounds like their parents
Yeah, okay,
have
yeah, so
other plans
Arlecchino
for
had
them.
already started setting things up by then.
I guess we'll be parting ways soon. It's only been 10 days since I first met them, but I think that I've gotten a feel for their personalities now. They're very tough, but also very cautious, and they trust no one but each other. This, I fear, is not a good habit to have. They hide things from me too. For example, when I asked them where they live and why they wanted to learn magic, they lied. That's the thing about children. Whenever they're trying to cover something up, it always shows somehow. I can sense that their lives have been hard, possibly even dangerous too. They're not like other children. It's a shame that I can't do more to help them. After thinking things over, I decided to tell them a bit about how I see the world. It's full of lies and falsehoods, and that is why we must find our own truth. P.S. I hope they won't find my nagging annoying. Children are so opinionated nowadays. Will it do them more harm than good for someone they've only known 10 days to lecture them like that? P.P.S. Maybe I'm overthinking this. Children aren't interested in grand philosophies. It probably just went in one ear and out the other. I bet they've already forgotten every word I said.
Huh.
Oh, Caesar, Caesar. Just mind your own business next time. At one of my shows a few
Shit!
No.
There we go. Scrolled down too high.
Magic geniuses with a father and a mission, huh?
Yeah, that's Linny and Lynette and Arlecchino.
Sounds a lot like he was writing about Linny and Lynette, don't you think?
I called it like frame 1.
So did they meet Caesar when they were kids? Let's go ask Linny.
Rendezvous with Linny. Yeah, no wonder Linny was like, yeah, there's more than meets the eye. He wouldn't go down that easily because he knows the tricks. Because he was trained by him.
Linny?
Shh, hold that thought. As I expected, there's a lot of fishy things going on in this place.
Fishy? Uh-oh, what have you found?
All in good time. Before we go over our new leads, I want to tell you how a high-altitude escape is performed. First, the magician slots themselves into a magic box in full view of the audience. The box is then suspended high in the air, and a short while later, the base automatically opens. At this point, a dummy will fall out of the box, but it looks real enough to grab the audience's attention, and they start wailing and screaming. Meanwhile, the real magician, who has by now blended into the crowd, waits for a good moment to make their appearance and put on a hysterical performance. Oh no! Is that me? Did I just fall to my death?
Very vivid description. Paimon can really picture it. And then what?
The audience's gaze then turns to the magician, and by the time they realize what's happened, the dummy has vanished, as if everything that just happened was some sort of shared illusion. Of course, that's just how I think the process should work, theoretically speaking.
Theoretically speaking? What do you mean?
The inventor of this trick never performed it successfully. When the box opened, Caesar was the one who fell out, and not the dummy. He fell right to the ground from the highest point of the opera house. No one could hope to survive that fall. Not without a vision, at least. And no one else has ever attempted this trick since. My understanding of how it works is just based on what I could gather from his notes, and the relevant gadgets here in his workshop.
So Caesar's famous high-altitude escape has never been done, huh? Paimon was about to say how cool it would have been to see it in person, but if it's that dangerous, it's probably for the best that no one else tries to do it. Wait a second. So if a dummy's supposed to drop out of the box, then where does the real magician go? How does he get out?
Glad you asked. That brings us to the secret of said box. This box right here is the one that Caesar constructed himself to use in the performance, and it's not as simple as it looks. Inside, there's a device that only the magician himself would know about. Once the magician's inside, and the box is lifted up into the air, the audience's view of the box is fixed at a certain angle. From where they're standing, they have a clear view of the front, sides, and bottom, but the back and the top are now no longer visible. At this point, the magician presses a button inside the box, opening a secret door out of view. He then escapes through this trapdoor onto the opera house roof, waits for the dummy to fall and distract the audience, and quietly returns to ground level.
That's way simpler than Paimon imagined. Even Paimon could probably do it.
Well, you'd be cheating because you fly anyway.
Well, there's a little more to it than that, of course. The hardest part of this trick is controlling the audience's mood and reaction.